What link do I share to tell people?
The one that I'm gonna reply to in the chat here. The tweet. Hold on. This. You got the link? We're live, by the way, just so you know.
All right, okay, we are live.
Hey everybody, it's Richard Hart from HEX.win or pumpamentals.com. I feel like your 10% bonus. I'm here with Bitcoin maximalist Peter McCormack, who I think is gonna defend the best cryptocurrency in the world, Bitcoin, right? I think that's what we'll do, but who knows?
Maybe. Hold on. Did you like tweet it out or something?
Yeah, I tweeted it, but like, right. I'll send you the link again so that you can tweet it because this is as useful as people see it, right?
Right.
So there's the link again.
Right. That's not that's a YouTube link, not a tweet. Right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Right.
We're just making sure that everyone's seen the promotion.
Which is bullshit.
This is gonna be good. I love it.
Bullshit. Right, don't get into some big fucking technical debate with me because
all right.
you know my limitation.
Right. Yeah, it's all good.
We won't achieve anything with that.
Okay.
So quite interestingly,
well, what are we talking about? Tell the audience what we're talking about because they might not be caught up.
Who knows? Let's see where the fuck this goes.
All right.
Well, firstly, I'm in a really difficult position with you because I actually quite like you.
Thanks, man.
Which is really annoying because every other fucking scammer out there, I usually don't like them. But you look like my hero Axl Rose.
All right. Thank
which
you.
you're instead of. And every time I've spoken to you, I've got on with you. Like we've like banged heads, but I've always felt like I could go out and drink with you.
Sure.
I felt like if I lived near you, you'd probably be a friend of mine. I like you as a person.
Thanks, man. You're pretty cool.
But it's really fucking difficult because you're clearly scamming everyone. And before you defend it, I'm going to tell you a conversation I had with. So I've got a full-time engineer producer who helps me with my podcast now, which is really fucking useful. And he messaged me earlier. And I'm going to tell you what he said. And I'm going to tell you what I said in reply.
In court, this would be hearsay, but I'll allow it. I'll admit it.
No, I can do a screen grab. Where the fuck is it? Where are you?
I believe you, man.
Danny, right. Right, I'm going to actually... So he sent me this tweet that you put earlier. What is the best ways you've heard of to protect your privacy as an Ethereum user?
Yes.
And then he messaged me, what a fucking scam. Got over 4 million in ETH in the first 3 days and now trying to find out how to dump it privately. My reply to him was, I kind of like the front of him just doesn't give a fuck. And what I can't figure out here is, are you just trolling everyone? I mean, you're scamming everyone. Let's not pretend it's anything else. Okay. I mean, this is a scam. But what I can't figure out is whether you're like you genuinely believe what you're doing, which I don't believe you do, or you're actually here scamming everyone, or you're scamming everyone and laughing and like it's a piece of art. You're so fucked up with the crypto industry. You've wrecked yourself so much that you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to fucking scam everyone and I'm going to laugh at them as I do it and then I'm going to sail off in the sunset. I just can't figure out what it is you're doing.
So the difference is, this is going to sound pompous and gross.
Probably.
I understand scams better than most people do. I know how they work. I know how they harm people. I know how people lose all their life savings. And I actually want to help all those people.
No, you're not. You're scamming people.
Okay, so let's go over it.
Yeah. I think. How does everyone win? Let's just for basic questions. How does everyone win?
Well, first, why don't we just attack the easy things, right? So the website says that HEX is designed to go up over 10,000x in 2.5 years. That sounds impossible, right? That sounds like bullshit, right? I mean, that sounds like a scam, right?
What happens in 3 years?
I have no idea. I do have an idea in HEX terms. I have no idea what will ever happen in USD, but I know it's possible, and it's very responsible and very reasonable to look at what is possible, right? So I want to make sure that we agree on the facts. A 10,000x return in USD in less than 2.5 years sounds outrageous and impossible and like total bullshit, right?
No, it is bullshit.
Okay. How much X is Bitcoin up right now?
Don't
Used
care.
to be a
Don't
penny.
know. Don't know. Don't care.
Okay. Well, it's up 750,000 X. So 750,000 X is what Bitcoin is up from a penny to $7,500. And it used to be up over 2 million X when it was 20,000. And it was actually designed, Bitcoin was designed to do larger numbers than that because it's designed to replace fiat currency. And if it does replace fiat currency, it's going to be far higher than a 2 million X return. So I quote a very, very small number compared to Bitcoin, but you just didn't know the Bitcoin number. So it seemed big to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It
And
doesn't
Ethereum
matter.
did more. Ethereum
doesn't
did
matter.
more.
How
No, it
does-
does matter. This is
how
the
does
difference
every-
between a
no,
reasonable claim
Richard.
and an unreasonable claim.
Yeah. How does everyone win? How does everyone win? How does everyone who puts money in? How does everyone? The only way you can make that money.
I don't
is
think
go-
everyone in cryptocurrency does win,
Richard,
ever.
Richard,
That's not how
listen,
cryptocurrencies work.
Listen, I watched your thing with Stefan the other day, and you interrupted him all the time. So let's not do that because that's bollocks. Okay.
Right, but I just answered your question. You didn't hear the answer.
Yeah. No, because
Because
I
you
didn't
were
get
talking.
frame. Okay.
I can answer it again.
I'm not. I'm not the smartest guy, but I can see bullshit when I see it. Right.
Right.
Okay. If the only way to
Everyone
exit-
is not going to win. Everyone
Okay.
is not going to win. A lot of people are going to lose.
Okay, so you're openly admitting now this is designed for a lot of people to lose.
That's how every speculative instrument works in the history of mankind. Human beings think things are worth a lot, and then they think they're worth a little, and then they think they're worth a lot, and it's not avoidable. Price discovery is a gross thing. Price discovery is hard. Determining how long something is in the real world is actually really hard. You think it's easy because you look at a ruler and you don't realize that every ruler is slightly a different size than every other ruler. When you start to look at the world with resolution, detecting anything is hard, right?
Okay, so what percentage of people are going to lose that have invested in this? Do you estimate?
If a new cryptocurrency has the same chart as other cryptocurrencies has had, then Bitcoin always drops 85% at some point. It has done so more than 3 times in the 10 years that it has existed. And all the altcoins, for the most part, have dropped 95%. And so if HEX is similar to either of those, then I would assume at some point people will overvalue it, and then there will be a correction. And I've programmed it to avoid that, and I can tell you how I tried to program it to avoid that.
No,
but you
don't
can
care.
just okay.
So it's a pump and dump. So your value proposition is this is a pump and dump.
Is Amazon a pump and dump? It dropped 95%. It's now 50% of global. It's 50% of commerce on the internet in the United States.
Okay,
It dropped 95%. No, it's not.
Okay, no, it is because
Is Bitcoin a pump and dump? It's dropped 85% 3 times.
No, because they all have a value proposition. You don't have a value proposition.
Yes, I do. What I built is better than Bitcoin.
No,
Seriously.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's.
You
go with
said
that
you didn't
one
want to get technical, but then you bring it technical. I say it's better, and I want to describe it, but you say it's not, and you don't want to hear it. Like,
then. Okay, so you know why I used to like you? Because actually, you are really technical and you're a really good debater. And I used to love watching. Like, I love the way you tore Roger Ver apart.
it's just because I'm right. It's not because I'm better. It's like,
No,
yeah,
it's
I'm
not.
pretty good at debating, but I'm also right. It's just easier to look right when you are right.
No, it's easy. No, you're pretty good at scamming. Now,
How
listen,
much money have I made on my scam, dude?
Well, I don't know. So let me ask you that. Well, I'll come back to that.
So how long have I been in crypto, and how much money have I made on scamming?
So you have a questionable past, but like most people who are scammers, they will never admit
Name
it.
one human being that I've ever scammed in my entire life, ever, in my whole life.
How will I go and look up all the
Because when people get scammed, they yell very loudly and they get very angry and they go, I got scammed by that guy. And it happens super easy. Like OneCoin, remember OneCoin? There's whole like video documentaries on the human beings that have been harmed by OneCoin.
Yeah.
Let me know a single person I've ever scammed in my entire life, or anyone that didn't even get a good deal.
Okay. So anyway,
You make outrageous claims as a journalist, and then you have no backup for them, and you think
Okay.
it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay for you to call me a scammer when I'm not. It makes you the scammer.
No,
Truthfully.
you're a scammer.
Okay, so who did I make money on, and how much did I make?
Well, so the $4 million in ETH that's gone in.
Yes.
Where does that go? Where does that go?
Well, right now it just went to one address and sat there, and it's never moved.
Yeah. Okay.
And so whoever
right
has
now-
the keys to that,
Who has
if
the keys
anyone
to that
has the
address?
keys to it, could spend it however they like.
So who has the keys to that address?
Why would
You
I tell you
put it-
that?
Well, it's you. Of course, it's fucking you.
If you
Of
want to
course
think
it's you.
that, go ahead. I don't mind.
no.
Think what
No,
you
no.
like.
It is 100% you, because otherwise, what is the fucking point? What, you created this and you gave the keys to someone else, or you're doing
Right.
some,
So-
Satoshi Nakamoto thing?
So you're okay with Bitcoin, right? Who is he? So you're okay with Bitcoin. Satoshi can do whatever he wants, right? But if someone starts their own cryptocurrency trying to do things Bitcoin can't, they're evil because they're not anonymous and they don't like they. I don't get it.
Yeah. I think we've got to the point where we agree with anyone with any ethical backbone disagrees with any form of pre-mine, and this is a pre-mine.
Are you crazy? Every single cryptocurrency advantages the people that first get in. Satoshi stealth mined Bitcoin before you ever heard about it, and that's why he owned 20 and 30 and fucking 100% of it at any moment. And it's also highly inflationary. You think Bitcoin's deflationary. I don't know why. Bitcoin's inflationary, which is the only way you can go from 0 coins to 18 million coins in 10 years, is through high inflation. It's got over 3.8% inflation, and it's cut its inflation in half over twice, from 50 to 25 to 12.5, and soon to 6.25 block reward per block. But you have a conception that has been sold to you by people that is false, but you have never questioned it. You think Bitcoin's deflationary, it's inflationary. You think Bitcoin is not a scam for some reason, but everything else is. Dogecoin dropped 95%, Bitcoin dropped 85%. Can you explain to me how the blue chip only outperforms the comedy coin by 10%? But no one mentions this shit to you, and then you just think that you found the best thing in the world. We're down at 7,000 now after a 20,000 top, and you promote that shit. You promote that, Peter. You promote Bitcoin, which a fucking lot of people bought 20K, and now they're sitting at 7K 2 years later. You promote that. They bought the 14K top 2 months ago, and they're down 50% from that shit, and you promote that, and no one calls you a scammer? Why aren't people calling you a scammer for promoting a pump and dump?
They do.
I called to short at 19K on Bitcoin, by the fucking way. Google Richard Hart 19K Bitcoin.
Dude, the only video I remember about you trading was the one where you were crying because you were like, "Fucking lost all my money. It goes up."
I literally post my price calls on the price chart. They're so good.
This is bullshit. It's done it again.
Right. I cried at 8,500 after calling a 9,300 long and said the bull market was in, and then we went down to 3K. And then I told everyone to close their shorts at 4K. And then I told everyone to long at 10K. It went up to 12 with a $50 drop, which was the easiest long in the world. But then didn't call close until 10.4.
The problem is, it's almost like it's
Well,
almost
you
like
say things that are wrong and you're okay with it. Like you're saying I'm a bad trader. Like it doesn't make sense. I publish my calls. I don't delete them.
I didn't say you're a bad trader. I said the last time I remember you talking about trading was that time where you came on and you were crying your eyes.
I'm the one that publicized the BitConnect Ponzi, or rather the Plus Token Ponzi, that no one else publicized, no one else popularized. And the 14K top was the day that their founders got arrested. And as you watch their Ponzi scheme, they own over 1% of all Bitcoin. Did you know that? Did you know that a Chinese Ponzi scheme owns 1% of all Bitcoin, and that they bought the 3K bottom? And when they got arrested, it was the 14K top? If you don't know that, you should be watching my stream more, because I'm one of the only people talking about it.
No, I don't watch your stream anymore because you're a scammer. You're fucking people over. Where's the 4 million ETH go?
Christ.
Where's the 4 million?
Here's the reason I don't want you to know, and I don't want anyone to know, okay? If you promise people returns, then you could be having a security, and a security is a regulated activity. And so you have to be very, 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 very super careful not to sell people a bunch of bullshit, because you may end up in jail for violating securities law.
Oh, you're going to end up in jail.
So guys like you...
No problem. You're definitely going to end up in jail for this.
Okay.
And it'll be hilarious. And I'll be fucking laughing. And also, I will then probably cry because I'll be like, oh, I really fucking like Richard.
Peter, I'm explaining things to you. I'm educating you, but you're not letting the information in. I'm telling you the truth about the world, but you're not listening. I'm telling you why the bottom happened, why the top happened, what the actual price performance of all these crypto things are. And these are all true things. They're not even arguable. Nothing I've said is arguable. You call me a scammer, I say, where are my victims? You say, I don't need victims. I can just keep calling you a scammer for fun. That's not reasonable.
No, it is reasonable. You're a scammer. You are a fucking scammer.
You're breaking the word. If you knew where the ETH went, you might expect profit from it. If you thought it went to someone who liked Ethereum, you might think the Ethereum price was going to go up because it might be getting locked or burnt or staked or something. Well, guess what? If you don't know where it's going, then whoever has those keys can't make you any promises. Then they can't violate the Howey law for you having expectations you shouldn't have. Because you shouldn't expect any good thing to happen from that money. Nothing. It's not your money.
You have the keys.
If I
Hold on.
did, how exactly would that be bad? Do tell me.
Oh no, it just confirms your scam that this is a
So
this is
if
a
people exchange their
pre-mined pump and dump bullshit that I thought were. The only thing I'm amazed about, and the thing I give you a bit of credit for, that is if you found enough morons to put 4 million into this, and God knows how much more. Like you found that many
lot, I hope.
morons who believe you're utter bullshit. And like
Right,
fair play, I know you fucked up. I know you got wrecked. You lost all your money. This is all you can do is to scam people to get out of it. But Richard, people are going to lose money because of you. People are going to lose money because of you. So either you're a fucking either you're a sociopath or a fucking criminal, but you're a sociopath or a criminal. You're neither. You're one or the other because you're making something.
Why not
full well
both?
people are
I mean,
going to
you
lose
could be
money.
both, right?
Yeah, well, you're at least one. So you're either a sociopath or a criminal, probably both. But people are going to lose money because of your lies and your bullshit, and you're okay with that. And I just think that's
so I said that it's likely to drop 85 to 95% at some point. A more outrageous claim than you're willing to make, but I'm the scammer, right?
Yes, you're the scammer. Yeah.
So I said this is what these types of entities usually do, and if HEX behaves like that, then it is likely to do that at some point. And then you're accusing me of like misleading people, but I'm giving you better information than you're giving them. I'm letting them know that cryptocurrencies, even the best one in most people's mind, drops 85%, almost as much as Dogecoin, about once every 3 years. But you think that I'm like misleading people. I'm telling people the truth, but you just don't like that it's successful, I guess.
No, it's not successful. I didn't like this before it launched. I'm amazed you've got 4 million into it so far. I didn't like it before it's launched. I've been calling you a scammer now for as long as you've been talking about it. I think I was calling you a scammer the last time we actually spoke.
Can we agree that everyone knows your position on my personal qualities, and that we could make more progress in the interview if we hit all the other topics beyond just how much I suck?
I think we should focus the entire thing on you being a fucking scammer.
Okay,
that's all we should talk about.
You're gonna need a thesaurus because you should have more words.
Because I don't need. I can fucking scammer, thief, dodgy bloke, criminal, sociopath, wanker, massive cunt.
I do wank. I do that. You got one.
How many words do we describe you? But you're going to go off with this.
Why don't we talk about how scams work and then hope that people don't fall for them? Isn't that a good, useful thing?
No, I think we should entirely focus on you being a scammer, and I don't want to go out of that window of thing. It's just the entire thing. I'm going to say you're a scammer. This is a scam. You're scamming people. Around my way, we call you a dodgy bloke, maybe a bit of a cunt. Total wanker. Honestly, I hope you fucking get arrested. I hope you end up in jail. I think you're a massive prick. I think
Jesus Christ.
The fact is, the saddest thing of all of this is that you used to be against this stuff. Firstly, you used to be against Ethereum, and now you've put it on fucking Ethereum.
Yeah, would you like me to explain why?
No, because it'll be some post-rationalized bullshit that I don't care about.
Okay.
You will have done it to justify your scam, but you did an amazing teardown of Ethereum before.
Yes, and it's still up. I can give you the link.
Yeah. Yeah,
Google.
And now you're using that.
Everyone that wants to hear how shitty Ethereum is, Google Richard Hart, 9 reasons why Bitcoin will always be better than Ethereum. And it's on Medium. And I leave it up because it's all true. And it's still true.
Yeah.
Bitcoin sucks and Ethereum sucks. Bitcoin's awesome and Ethereum is awesome. You have to look at what part you want of it. If you want to, can I educate the audience? Because we know your opinion. Yes, I could teach you about scams if you like. I know a lot about them.
So I get a lot of people message me who've lost money. Some guy messaged me the other day. Hold on, let me see if I can dig it out.
You don't have to look far for people who lose money in cryptocurrency.
So a guy messaged me the other day and he said, "Hi Peter, I'm still battling the scourge of Bitcoin meltdown post 2017. Lost an insane amount of money. It cost me my friendships, my partner. I fear it's taken a toll on my mental health as well. How did you get through it?" I talked to him about it, and he comes later. But the mental strain's a killer. I lost $4.8 million. I considered killing myself. Actually, got it with my inheritance. Lost it, trying to make up my losses.
He'll revenge train to lose more.
Yes.
So and then he'll get sure. Yeah, I believe all that. So why do you promote the thing that ruined him? What's wrong with you, mate? Why are you a scammer?
Okay.
Why are you scamming? You do a cryptocurrency television show. You just told me this guy's life was destroyed by the thing that you like, and you don't learn from it. Like, you destroyed that guy's life. He's learning about it from you.
Yeah.
I
tell
also
people
tell
not to
people
trade.
not to trade.
Yeah, I tell people not to trade.
Yeah, it'll destroy their lives.
I talk about the technology because the technology is useful to people, and I stand by that. I don't tell people to trade. It's a
Good.
highly risky asset, but
Agree.
I am aware there are people like that who lose a lot of fucking money, and it ruins their
Yeah.
lives. And
Yes.
you are creating something that's only designed as a pump and dump. It has
No.
yes, it is. Has nothing, no benefit out
I
of
don't
that.
think you
It's
understand what I
pump.
built. I don't
Yeah, it's
think
a
you understand
fucking
it.
Ponzi. Some Ponzi bullshit.
Can you
and you're
tell
there
me
to
what it
scam
does
people.
then? Like, do you understand what it does?
Yeah, it scams people.
Right. So what happens here is you're angry because you think something's going to hurt people, but you don't know what the thing is, and you're just like a fiat
I'm angry
maximalist.
I'm angry because you turned into a massive cunt. That's what I'm angry about. You were a good guy. People like you. And you've turned into this fucking cunt, and I don't know why. Do it for whatever reason you want. I just think it's fucking
Peter,
pathetic.
can we try and learn something from the conversation?
Nope.
Let's just all agree that I am horrible, and we just covered
we
that.
can agree
and
that.
Yes,
Right, we've agreed
I'm
that.
horrible.
Okay, can we agree
Okay.
you're a scammer?
Can we talk about anything that's not me, like scams in
Nope.
general?
Nope.
What
Nope.
the thing actually does?
No, don't care what it does. You're a scammer.
Okay.
Scam. You're a scammer. That's all I'm going to say over and
All
over
right.
again. You're a scammer. I think everyone who listens in, don't buy your bullshit. Don't buy your scam. You know what? It's fucking pathetic. It's like, I would love, I tell you who I'd love to debate you is Udi. Udi would
Please.
fucking tear you a new arsehole.
I
Like, he's
offered
not
him
gonna
and he
give you the
cowered it
time.
out.
No, he's not
He
cowering
literally
out.
ran
He's just-
away.
like most people, he just doesn't want to give time of the day to a
No.
scammer. Yeah.
You're not being accurate or truthful. I know the history. I was part of it. I messaged Duty and I'm like, hey, come on the live stream. Let's debate. And he's like, no, I think you might win or something to that effect, right? Like I don't remember in what form he tried to decline, but it was like he was afraid basically.
Yeah, that would have
And
been
then we did
sarcasm.
it again. And he said, give me, a Bitcoin an hour or something, or like 0.3 Bitcoin an hour. And then people were like, okay, we'll crowdfund it. Like an Ethereum guy, an Ethereum auditor named Bertrand.
That was a joke. Do you know where the 0.3 Bitcoin comes from?
Yeah, it comes from Tonvase. I know everything, bro.
It was a joke.
Like,
He's not going to take the money. Udi's not going to take the money.
well, why doesn't he do like everyone else does and spread the truth? I have a large audience. I have in crypto, a large audience. I have 100,000
Have you
followers.
got a fucking HEX earring in?
Yes. And a necklace and a t-shirt. I have everything Hex. I'll get Hex underwear as soon as I find them. I believe. It's like so do you want your cryptocurrency to have lower fees?
Don't care about
Okay.
your scam.
All right. Do you like Monero?
Nah, it's okay. Not really. It's all
You don't
right.
like it.
That's
You don't
fine.
like
I don't
you don't like
use it.
privacy.
Privacy is one of those things that we talk about that should be super important, but no one gives a fuck. We saw everything that happened with Facebook. Everyone's still on Facebook. People talk about wanting privacy. Privacy will be relevant when it's baked into the product. If it's baked into your Apple, then it's fine. Most people don't give it. The only people who care about privacy are people who've got something to hide, which is fine. Like generally enough
my
to use
God.
it. No, let me finish. Or
my
some
God.
very hardcore Bitcoiners. No, look, got to talk about the normal person. Okay, Facebook still has 2 billion users, yet we know what they're doing with our data. Everyone still uses Visa and MasterCard, yet we know what they do with our data. So privacy is important. Just people don't give enough of a fuck to make a change. They're not going, oh, I think I should use Bitcoin instead, so people don't see my transactions. It's just not fucking happening. It doesn't mean the technology is not cool. It doesn't mean it's
Okay.
not important. People just don't give a fuck
So
enough.
do you think that people should buy Monero?
No, I don't.
Why? It
Well,
lets them have
it
privacy.
No, it depends on the circumstance. It depends on the circumstance. Like if they want to do a private transaction that's really important, yeah, fine,
Okay.
use it.
Do you
Absolutely
think
fine.
people should buy Bitcoin?
It depends on the scenario.
Okay. Well, like, do you own Bitcoin?
I own Bitcoin, yeah.
Okay. Well, why'd you buy it?
Well, I guess originally bought it when my very first real purchase back in late 2016 was so I could do a transaction on the darknet to buy cannabis oil to treat my mum.
Jesus, that's a much more in-depth answer than I expected. Okay.
And
Interesting.
then I invested like a moron, not understanding the markets, and bought every kind of bullshit there is. I would have bought
When
this
did you?
bullshit.
When was your? You don't have to answer any of these, by the way, because these are prying questions. But what price point did you get in Bitcoin? Like when you invested?
Oh, it was like $700,
Okay.
$800.
Well, it's not that bad. You're up 10x, bro. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's complicated because then traded some, bought some mining gear, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so now I understand it a lot more. I don't tell people to trade. I mean, people are
I
going
don't
to trade,
either.
fine.
They should not trade. You will lose all
But
your
they
money. It's worse than losing
well-
all your money. You'll also want to kill yourself. You'll lose your friends. You'll lose your sleep. You'll lose your family, and you'll lose all your money. And you're just torturing the other guy on the other side of the screen whose money you're trying to take, and he doesn't want you to have it. So even if you win, you just hurt somebody else, but you mostly lose. Like, I agree with all of that. So I removed all trading links from my YouTube and from my Twitter. You won't find any referral links to trading, although I've got them and I could just paste them back on there. I removed them, which is an odd behavior for a scammer, isn't it? Interesting.
I don't really fucking know, mate, to be honest.
I could teach you, but you don't want to learn. You don't want to know the truth. You have a preconceived notion that I suck, and you don't want to be freed of it. You're holding on to it very tightly, and you want to keep it. I could release you from it. I could share with you the things that I know that you don't, that would make you feel differently, but you just don't want to change. You don't want to learn. You want to stay where you're at. And I don't, as a journalist, I don't get it, because shouldn't you be intrigued and excited, or at least excited to see me fuck up somewhere and like, oh, I got him or something?
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I am excited to see you get arrested.
Okay, well then why don't we enhance the likelihood of me getting arrested by asking good questions that cover new ground, and then that gives the investigators more to work with, right?
No, because there's better people out there to debunk your claims than I am. So I'm just going to sit here, and then hopefully, if anyone sees this, they'll just hear me say scammer, scammer, scammer over and over again, and then they'll go and actually research and find the information from the people who are more technical than me or understand economics better than me and who can debunk it better than me. I'm just going to call you a scammer over and over again until they find it.
Isn't it easier to debunk scams than so we know OneCoin was a scam. We know Plus Token was a scam. We know BitConnect was a scam.
We know HEX is a scam.
We do not.
Yeah, we do.
So let's talk about the difference between HEX, right? Is HEX a multi-level marketing program?
HEX is a scam.
Right. Is HEX a Ponzi?
Yes, probably.
Okay, excellent. So Ponzi's fail when they can't meet their promises, right? That's how they fail. They run out of money. They steal money from the new guys. They give it to the old guys. And then they run out of new guys, and then they fail and they exit scam and they keep the money. That's how Ponzi's work. Explain to me how HEX does that.
I've not looked into the detail because I've not wasted any time on it, but it's a scam. It's probably
so you not only don't know anything about it, but you also don't want to know anything about it. You just want to say scam.
I just know it's a scam. You're trying to I mean, when you said you're created better than Bitcoin on Ethereum, I instantly knew it was a scam. So that's instantly a scam.
Right, but I know more about the tech than you do, and I've been at it longer, and I'm telling you the truth. Yes, and I crush everyone that steps to me. I stomp on them. I flatten them. They're scared to even talk to me. There's a trail of bodies behind me.
Yeah, because you talk over them. That's all you do. You just like rant and talk over them. It's not like you give Stefan Rivera gave very good answers, but you just shouted over him over and over again. And, it was disrespectful and it was shit. It wasn't that you were right. You were just louder and noisier.
Let's talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's a very simple conversation. Bitcoin has more hash rate than Ethereum, right? Yes? It does.
What's that? Sorry, what's that?
Bitcoin is a stronger network and a hash rate. It has higher hash rate than Ethereum. Yes?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it does. Okay. Now, most people believe that's more secure, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if I increase the Bitcoin hash rate tenfold by turning on new miners of my own? Would that increase the security of Bitcoin?
No idea. It's not my area of expertise. I don't talk. I don't go in. If you ever listen to my shows, I don't do this stuff. I ask the questions that people like me don't understand.
So why don't you ask me some of those questions? Why don't you ask me some of those questions?
All right. Why are you scamming people?
I'm not.
Like, how much money did you lose? Like, really? How much did you lose? And how fucking wrecked were you to do this?
My lifestyle has not changed in any form whatsoever. Nothing has changed for me.
Yeah,
the big bubble happened. The big bubble didn't happen. Nothing
you could have had 500,000, gone up to 20 million, and come back down to 500,000. So that's bullshit. How much did you wreck yourself? Like, I saw you fucking crying on YouTube about it.
Yeah, I used to spend all day, every day talking about how good Bitcoin was, kind of like you're doing. And then I realized that the game was going to change, and I was right.
Right. And you, the great Richard Hart, is going to solve it by creating better than Bitcoin on Ethereum. Fucking give me a break, mate. It's obviously bullshit.
It's not obviously bullshit, or you would understand why. So it has higher throughput. It has more modular code that's less likely to fail. It has a more diverse miner ecosystem, which is more robust and less likely to be attacked from nation states, because you could mine it, right? You could get it for free. Like I got in Bitcoin for free. You could get it for free.
Yeah. Well, what's that 4 million ETH for then?
That's for people that chose to do that. It's not a requirement at all. If no
Right,
one
listen,
wanted to do that, it would be nothing. Like,
I'll be honest, Richard. I didn't come here to debate because I told you before it's not my skill. I don't have the ability. There are better
why don't we
people to
bring
do it.
someone else on the call, man?
I know.
If
I'm
you're
not bringing anyone else
if you're unwilling to honestly debate and talk about the ideas instead of the man, and you just want to ad hominem me, you don't want to talk
Yeah.
about the actual tech, let's bring someone else on the call. You can like chant scammer once every 3 minutes, and this other guy that you bring on Udi, bring on your heroes, bro. Watch me crush them. Bring your heroes here to die, please.
Yeah. Right. It's 20
I will
to
crush
12.
all of them.
No, it's 20 to 12. I just came on to call you a scammer, tell you I was disappointed, tell you I used to like you. I didn't want to really listen to any of your bullshit. I know it's a scam. I know it's bullshit.
Well, I hope that you choose to learn what is actually going on, because you're not doing a good job preventing people from joining. You're doing a good job helping people join, because what you're doing doesn't look good for Bitcoin.
No, this isn't even about Bitcoin. We're not discussing Bitcoin. We're discussing your scam. I just think enough people now, hopefully when they see this, they'll go, oh, I need to research this. Like if some fucking moron thinks, oh, Richard Hart's created better than Bitcoin on Ethereum, they'll go, and then they see loads of people call you a scammer. Hopefully they'll do enough research. Probably, though, you're going to get away with it. You've got your 4 million ETH so far, whatever other bullshit you'll get through it. Although perhaps maybe some of that's just you just pumping it just to make it look popular.
Why don't you do chain analysis and look that the Ethereum's never moved?
Because every minute is a waste of my time with you. I think it's a real shame. I think you're a good dude.
So can we talk? So let's try this. Why don't you talk about anything you want to talk about, and I'll just give you a platform.
No, I'm going to go to bed, but what I'm going to do is just hope everyone like goes and speaks to somebody, researches somebody who understands this.
Yes, please.
Like, goes to hexisascam.com or anywhere else that explains it as a scam.
You've misspelled it. It's hexscam.com without the is.
Okay. I am going to block you now.
It's also a referral website that you don't realize, and you're promoting the project without understanding it because you're bad.
Okay.
That's an affiliate website you're linking to.
I don't know.
You're just bad at journalism.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not bad at journalism.
You just shilled a referral link to my project out of your mouth is what you just did, because you're not smart enough to realize that hexscam.com is a referrer to Hex, but you're too stupid to understand that because you don't do good research. You do terrible research.
I was laying on the couch.
You've done no research for this.
Of course I've done no research. Why am I going to waste any fucking time on your scam? I was laying on this couch. You messaged me. I said, yeah, I'll go on. I'll call you a scammer, and I'm going to go. I'm not going to sit there and do any fucking research, spend any time on this, because it's definitely a scam. You're a scammer. You're ripping people off. Honestly, mate, I think it's utterly pathetic that what you're doing to people. But go ahead. I am going to block you now.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll disappear into the ether of my life. I hope you get arrested. I hope you end up in jail. I hope you get butt-fucked by some people. Honestly, genuinely, I hope horrible things happen to you.
Oh my God.
Just go fuck yourself.
All right. Well, guys, I did my best. I tried. I really A+ tried. I did not expect that. Peter's a journalist. He does interviews full time. I didn't know that was the kind of thing that you could get out of journalism, is like, hey, I hate you and I don't know what you're doing, but I know I hate it. And I hope that you go to jail, and I hope that no one participates, but I don't understand. So I guess what I'll try and do is, here's what I'll try and do. Since Peter won't present his argument well, I will present Peter's argument for him in a light that I think is the best that he would like, and then hopefully that educates people. People get ripped off all the time. They get giant promises, and then the promises don't come true, and then they lose a lot of money. Or they participate in things that are volatile, promises or not, like the S&P 500 or like trading or like anything, and the prices go up and the prices go down. And if you have a low time preference and you want to get in and get out quickly, it multiplies the house advantage against you, and you end up buying the top and selling the bottom and then having to chase the market back higher, because in general, since they keep printing money forever, the printing presses keep running, everything goes up in value that they don't just keep printing and at least has static demand or increasing demand. New people are born, the population of the planet keeps going up, which tends to increase demand for things because there's more people. So do people lose money on the stock market? Yes. Is the stock market still very, very useful? Yes. Do people lose money in crypto? Yes. Is crypto still very useful? Not as much as I'd like to see, but someone has to make it more useful. Someone has to make it a better user experience. Someone has to try and reduce the volatility. So the things that You know, he read an email from someone who wanted to kill themselves because they traded and or I guess just spot traded Bitcoin, like went long and then, I don't know, sold the bottom or something, or just considered their paper money real money and then felt poor at the bottom. Well, you know, he still promotes Bitcoin, still owns it, even though it drops 85% every 3 years. So at what point would he understand that you have to tell people the truth about that? Like, yes, these things are volatile and they're very likely to go up more than you think and very likely to go down more than you think. And a lot of people lose a lot of money and a lot of people make a lot of life-changing wealth. And it really just matters at what point on the chart you bought and sold. And it's like that for everything. You could have bought Amazon, you could have bought Apple, or you could have shorted them. And if you shorted them, you were ultra destroyed, unless it was just a very small window, because in general, they go up higher, right? So I tell you the truth. I show you the chart. I show you cryptocurrencies often go up tens of thousands of X, which is hundreds of thousands of %. And it's insane and it's crazy, but it is reality, is what they do. This is not an opinion of mine. These are charts that I show you. Bitcoin went from nothing to $20,000 a coin. It went from nothing to hundreds of billions of dollars of valuation. It was designed to do that. It was designed to do millions of X return, and it did it. It did it. This is not a mystery. Ethereum outperformed Bitcoin. It went higher over a shorter time frame. But if you go back farther, Bitcoin, like way back when it first started, did even better. So let's look at Ethereum. Ethereum went up 4,500x from its launch price to its top in 2018 of $1,500. It went from 15 cents to $1,500. That's a 10,000x return. I'm sorry, I misquoted you that. It went from 15 cents to $1,500 if you bought it on Kraken when it wicked down to 15% there, 15 cents. If you bought it at its launch price, it was in the 30-cent range, and then you ended up with a 4,500x return, measuring from its launch price over 3.5 years to its peak. But if you measured when it actually started trading and wicked down in the early days on Kraken, then you would have been able to got it 15 cents instead of 30 cents and still been able to sell that $1,500 top, you know, which is improbable, right? Like the vast majority of people do not buy the bottom. The vast majority of people do not buy the top. You could do volume analysis to try and guess how many people got to participate in those events. But in the end, you're just looking at numbers that are so gigantic that does your brain emotionally understand the difference between 1,000,000x and 100,000x and 400x? No, they're just all ticked off as like absurd mad gains, is what your brain understands them as, right? So I tell you what cryptocurrencies have done, and I explain to you why I think they did that and the design parameters that may have caused that to happen. Bitcoin had two fundamentals. One, the inflation rate dropped in half every 4 years. Two, it onboarded new users by getting them to double click an EXE and giving them a little free money. So it had freemium, and it had a inflation rate that went down every 4 years, right? And then I said, okay, well, can that be made better? Can we adopt other things that work for other industries into crypto and make it a better product? And the answer is obviously yes. So you add a referral program. Can you make money on a referral program for Bitcoin? Nope, you can't, because Bitcoin only pays miners. Bitcoin only rewards miners, and that is a misincentive. It doesn't reward developers. It doesn't reward marketers. It doesn't reward holders. New Bitcoin are only minted and given to miners, who then sell those Bitcoin on the market, pushing the price down to pollute the environment by paying electricity companies. Now, it's a necessary evil because it's a proof of work system and it's used for security. But man, if we could reduce the cost of that and reduce the pollution and reduce the effect on the price, imagine if 18 million coins didn't need to get sold on the market to pay for electricity, right? Now, not all 18 million need to get sold on the market. And when I got into Bitcoin, it was a peer-to-peer network. You could mine Bitcoin, and then you'd have Bitcoin to trade with other people that were mining it, and you all had the same level, the same status. You were all peers. But then ASIC mining came along. And that means that now every Bitcoin anyone buys goes through the hands of an ASIC miner. And you're not one. You're not an ASIC miner. But there's a lot of people that are. Well, now it's a miner to user network, not a peer-to-peer network. and it's changed and it's different, and man, it's not as good. It's just not as good, which is why there's less volume on chain, there's less users, there's less Google mentions, there's less tweets, and the price is 3 times less than it was 2 years ago. I realize that. I see the reality. I share the reality with you. These things are not debatable. These things are not questionable. They're the real measurements that are in the real world. You want to look up the search volume? Go to trends.google.com and type Bitcoin and hit enter. Very obvious what's going on. It's not hard. You want to see the price? Go to tradingview.com and type BTC USD. Choose the exchange you like. I think Bitstamp's a nice exchange to look at price because they don't have margin, which means they have less wicks, right? Which gives you a cleaner chart with, a little bit less volatility than some of the margin houses where you get liquidation wicks where there's a lot of extra volatility that makes it harder to draw trend lines. So I educate you, I teach you, I show you the facts. And I tell you those facts, and I tell you the reasoning that I use on those facts, and I tell you the conclusions that I arrive at, and then you now are educated and smart enough to go and draw your own conclusions. And you don't have to have anyone else do your thinking for you. And if you do want to have someone else do your thinking for you, you at least have the facts to give them to get them a head start so they can try and, tell you what's good and what's bad, because good and bad exist. Now, I can tell you that in Bitcoin, if you send a transaction, you download a wallet, right? Bitcoin Core wallet, Electrum wallet. You download a wallet. You put $20 in it. You send $10 to somebody. Or let's say you spend $5 to somebody. Even better. Let's say you send $2 to somebody. You buy $10 Bitcoin. You send $2 to somebody. And now you want to send the other 8 to somebody else. It won't let you. It literally won't let you. You need to wait for confirmation. And how long does confirmation take? 10 to 20 minutes. When you're really watching it and you really care, it seems to take like 25 minutes. Because the more you care, you just seem to magically get a longer block. In reality, it's a Poisson distribution. If you want to Google what a Poisson distribution is, you can see what the actual time of Bitcoin block finding and confirmations is. But the human emotional system tends to notice the ones that are longer and just not care about the shorter ones. And so we tend to think it takes longer, right? Or maybe you just say 10 because that's what everyone told you, but you don't realize there's a wide variance. Sometimes they happen in a second after the last block, and sometimes it takes an hour after the last block. And this, it happens. So in our system, in HEX, if you have a certain value of it and you send some, you don't have to wait for confirmation. You can just keep sending, and the fees are cheaper, and it just works better. The user experience is better. It does things Bitcoin can't, right? If you want to make more Bitcoin with your Bitcoin, you have to give them to a centralized counterparty who might steal them and never give them back, hope that he lends them out, hope that he gets a return, hope that he gives you some of that return back. A lot of hope. A lot of people lose a lot of money doing that. So I invented something to fix it. Instead of having centralized finance where you have to hope someone else doesn't screw you, we replace that with decentralized finance, where you mint your own coins and you mint your own rewards, and then the system increases the amount or decreases the amount of rewards based on what everyone else is doing. If a lot of people lock up their coins, well then each individual person that's locking up is going to see a lower ROI. But if everyone's locking up their coins, what do you think that's going to do to the USD price? If the demand is static or increasing, the USD price will go up in a free market, as long as supply and demand still operates in this world, right? So I designed something that solves problems that Bitcoin has had for 10 years that it's existed, and that I'm demonized for it, and I'm yelled at for it by people that don't even understand what's right or wrong with Bitcoin, and further don't have any idea what's right or wrong with HEX. And then I try and point out, I'm like, here's the thing I own under $100 of. Here's Monero. Do you like Monero? And they always say no. Why? Because they're hateful, spiteful people who care about what they own, and they don't care about what might help other people. Peter bought a bag of Bitcoin, and he owns a bag of Bitcoin, and he only cares that you buy Bitcoin, even though he's got emails that say it's destroying people's lives. Even though there's other products that have better features, he doesn't want you to buy those. His words. He wants you to buy what he already has. But me, the guy that gives away free trading advice, like 1, don't trade. 2, if you're really, really, really going to trade, okay, here's what I think is going on in the market. Free coins, free books, free everything. Everything I do is free. He has sponsors. Sponsors. Who do you think sponsors his shows? People that make money on you. Okay, well, maybe those are good people. Maybe they're not. In general, what I've found in crypto advertising is that the number of good, wholesome companies that want to buy ads is about 50x smaller than the number of crappy companies that are less likely to have a good experience for the customer. So I don't know his advertisers. I know one of them. They seem fine. I don't have any problem with Kraken. They seem to be just fine. I don't know of any of his other advertisers. Maybe it's not fair for me to impugn their intentions. I can just say, for a guy who bought a bag of Bitcoin, says everything else is evil, doesn't really understand how it works, definitely doesn't understand how anything else works, to then give you counseling as to what you should do, it seems biased, it seems scammy, and I don't think it's as good as telling people the truth. I don't think it's as good as giving people the data and telling them what your analysis is and telling them to make their own conclusions. I think it's gross. I don't think you can make progress in this world unless you admit that there's things that can be better and work hard, really hard, to build better things. And it took me years to build something better, and I did. And in 2 days, it became the second most popular project on Ethereum, which is the second most popular cryptocurrency in the world. In 2 days. Do you know why it did that? Because it was designed well. It was designed well. Not a single dollar on marketing has been spent to promote HEX. Not a single dollar. Nothing. I mean, maybe someone else is doing it, but I haven't. I haven't spent a single dollar marketing HEX. Nothing. And look what it did. It's the number 2 project on the number 2 cryptocurrency in the world in 2 days. We're giving away free money that has features and benefits and a potential for return that Bitcoin doesn't have. And people yell and scream and cry bloody murder. And then when you ask them for details, they just tell you that they're ignorant. Okay, yes, I'm horrible. Okay, I get it. I'm horrible. I'm horrible. Yes, I understand I'm horrible. Can we talk about anything else other than how horrible I am? Can we talk about the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum? Can we talk about the difference between Monero and Bitcoin? Can we talk about the general price performance of these things, right? Can we talk about how to stop people from getting scammed? No, I just have hate. I just want to hate. I'm angry. I don't want to learn. I want to be angry. And that is bad for the world. That's literally extremism. Like when you see people blowing up people in other countries and you go, how does that happen? How bad does your life have to be? And how screwed up do you have to be to go blow up other people? That's how you get there. That's how you get to extremist behavior. You ignore reality. You ignore what all the honest people are telling you. You ignore what all the reasonable people are telling you. And you get locked into this little state where you think you know everything and you won't listen to anyone else. And then you end up going and doing something terrible. Michael Jackson, right? Everyone around him, hey man, probably shouldn't be taking propanol to go to sleep every night. That ain't good. Why don't you, right? And how many people have died, celebrities, that just couldn't take the good advice that everyone that loved them gave them. They just won't listen. So I think there's hope for Peter. I think he can learn. I think he's a nice guy, but he's going to actually have to open up and drop his ignorance defense. And just defending yourself from the real world by being ignorant of the real world is not the right way to go through life. You must understand the real world to try and live a good life, period. If you're calling people scammers, but indeed they're not, you're doing them harm, and it's not fair to them. Now, since it's so common, right, I don't mind. Fine, I can take it. I know what I am, right? Fat, old, funny, rich, smart, creative. Yeah, okay, I'm all that, right? I know what's going on. I don't have any misconceptions, right? So how can I best serve the audience? How can I best help you guys in the honor and do Peter's job for him? Let's talk about scams. How do you get scammed? Scams require there to be fraud and lies, in my opinion. I believe deception needs to be involved for something to be a scam. Amazon dropped 95%, and now it's 50% of commerce in the United States on the internet. Bitcoin dropped 85% 3 times. It just dropped 55% in the last couple months. I don't think that you can just look at a price chart, which is basically in a free market, human beings deciding something's worth little, and then deciding it's worth a lot, and then deciding it's worth little again. You, as the product or service that's being traded, have very little influence over people going crazy with stuff, overvaluing it, undervaluing it. There's nothing that you can really do about that. You can try and have good messaging, for instance, with HEX, right? I said to people tend to FOMO day one. EOS had a very similar launch over 350 periods where people sent Ethereum to a contract, which then gave them ERC20 tokens. Now, totally opposite, because they had nothing done and a lot of promises. That was a security. HEX is the opposite of that. HEX promises you nothing and is complete. They're opposites, right? But they had some structural similarity in that people can turn something that they didn't want into something that they did want, right? Some similarity. Well, I published their charts and analyzed them and said, here, guys, here's the website that publishes the data for how much Ethereum came in every day, where it came from, the chain analysis, everything. And I posted them. And they're on Twitter right now. And I said, it looks like you could try and scale in over the first week or two before the share price ratchets too high. Now, in 2 minutes, the share price is going to go up for the first time ever in HEX. So today, in 2 minutes, will be the first time ever that the share price increases. And I'm very curious to see how high it increases, because it only goes up, right? The share price only goes up. That's math. Now, the USD price, I have no idea what it'll do. I have no idea what it is now. I have no idea what it'll be 2 years from now. I have no idea what it'll be 1 year from now. And no one else does. It is non-deterministic. It is unpredictable. It is extremely, extremely, I would say, impossible to predict. So good luck getting expectations out of me. Like, I'm going to tell you the truth. This thing is designed to do over 10,000x in 2.5 years. It could go to zero. It could go to a dollar. It could go, like, anything's possible, right? There's no way for me to, I don't have any information you don't have. It's public blockchain. Everything that I can see, you can see. So I may be slightly more qualified to show you the range of what is possible if it acts similar to other things, because I understand the other things. This does not sound like scam behavior to me. This sounds like honest behavior. You run software, you mint coins. That software mints you more coins if you stake longer, and it's all you. You're minting your coins for yourself. No one else can do it. There's no company, there's no entity that's giving you things. You are in a peer-to-peer network that you are a peer of. You decide which network rules you're going to run by, because you decide what contract you're going to run, and then that's it. It's a volunteer thing that's totally voluntary. And there's also no automatic. The code just sits there. If no one runs it and acts as the network, then it is just text. It's just text that just sits there. I mean, in theory, it's compiled text into bytecode, but you get the idea, right? The bytecode just decompiles into text. So it decompiles into source code, which is public and verified and auditable. And you can see it on etherscan.io and go to the contract address. It's just at the top of pumpamentals.com if you want a 10% bonus, or hex.win if you don't want a 10% bonus. You can see the contract address right there at the top. Everything is audited and viewable and open. And how can people be so angry about a voluntary association of people that want to build and be part of something greater? It blows my mind. It's crazy. So let's talk about scams, right? Man, I bet the price just moved up now. Let's talk about scams. I hate scams. I don't like scams. I think they're net negative for the whole world. How can we get rid of scams? I believe there's only 3 ways we can do it, and I believe 2 of them don't work. Here's how we can get rid of scams. 1, we throw a lot more money into not regulators, but enforcement, right? They're understaffed. The scams appear, steal a lot of money, and then disappear before they can respond, because it's slow for them to respond. First, they have to be able to detect them. Then they have to do information gathering and get injunctions, and then, get warrants, and then, it's a whole lot of work, right? So I don't think that the enforcers are able to prevent scams from happening. I do think they're able to punish some people that have performed them, but I don't think that the numbers are on their side. It's just too easy to start scams and too easy to run them. And then, these guys only get caught after the fact, and then most of the money doesn't get got back. In some rare cases, some of the money will be gotten back, but most of it won't. And so that, to me, the first option of better enforcement, it doesn't seem like it works. It doesn't seem like it scales. I don't think it has worked. And even if you could get it to work in a couple good countries, well, that leaves the not good countries just screwed. They're just not able to have the better enforcement there, right? So what's your second option? Scream and yell and beg for people to be smarter and to stop getting scammed. People don't have a switch they can flip to just be smarter. They don't have one. And they don't believe what you're saying. So if you go to someone and you try and stop them from getting scammed, they won't even believe you. As a matter of fact, I've tried this, and I've tried to stop people from becoming scammed, and I think I actually did harm. I think that when you tell people not to do a thing, some percentage of those people that wasn't going to do it anyway because they never heard of it are now actually going to do it because you brought it to their attention to let them know not to do it. And they go to the site and they read it and they're like, man, this actually sounds good. That guy's stupid. So I don't, and even if you had the same ability to influence somebody to not get scammed that the person trying to scam them had, the scammers have a bigger budget because they're cash positive on onboarding new users. But you as the anti-scam guy, you don't make any money by stopping people from getting scammed. So they've got money for marketing. You don't. They're going to reach more people. You're going to reach less. So even if you were more effective than them, they're going to beat you with scale. You're not able to stop this. These two things do not work, or they would have already worked, right? So what do? I'm smart. I'm innovative. I care. I'm creative. I come up with better ideas, and I try to make them work. How do I think we can prevent scams? I think that you have to outcompete the scammers for the resources that they thrive on, just like a bacteria. If you want to get rid of a bad bacteria, you send in a good bacteria to outcompete it for food, and then it dies. That's it. There's other ways. You could use macrophages and white blood cells to do other things, right? There's a whole list of things that you can do, right? Like plants have antibacterial things they do. If that's where CRISPR comes from. It comes from bacteria. Anyway, so if you want to prevent people from getting scammed, I think something that can scale, I think something that can work and have a better effect than other things that we've seen is a product or service that has a similar sales pitch but doesn't have the scam in it, right? So how do these scams operate? Hey guys, we're going to show you all these returns off of this fake thing that we're doing. And then it turns out we're not really doing that thing. We're just robbing the new guys, right? That's how these scams operate. They promise you a lot of stuff and they don't give you the stuff. Well, do cryptocurrencies tend to appreciate? Well, it looks like it, yeah. They also tend to depreciate at some point, but for some window of time, yes, they seem to appreciate quite a lot. And I mean quite a lot. Bitcoin's up 750,000x right now. More, really, but I'm just using a penny. It used to trade for less than a penny. So it's actually a higher number. And it used to, 2 years ago, it used to be 2 millionx when the price was 3 times higher, right? This is the reality. And Ethereum did better than that. And I could list you a coin that did better than Ethereum and is still doing amazing. Like I know these things that other people don't know, so I know what is possible. And I can tell you what is possible. Now, do I know what HEX is going to do? I have no idea. I have no idea how many people will claim. I know people have claimed 116,000 Bitcoin the last time I looked has claimed their free HEX. Well, that's a lot of Bitcoin, right? What is it, like some large number of millions of dollars? Well, they claimed. Good for them, right? I know that we're the number 2 network on Ethereum, behind Tether. Wow, in 2 days. That's pretty good, right? I give you the measurements. You make your own decisions. So how do you get a sales pitch, a presentation, an idea of a peer-to-peer network in front of someone that will choose them to do that instead of getting scammed by somebody that's going to lie to them? You tell them the truth. Hey, look, and this is what they're already doing. BitConnect and OneCoin said that they were cryptocurrencies, but they were not really. They were centralized. Oh, well, that's a big difference. Because if it's centralized, someone could flip a switch and make everything go away. And that's what tended to happen. Well, if you have a truly distributed cryptocurrency with many, many, many parties participating, there's no switch to flip. I could die. Hex.win could go down. Code's still sitting on the blockchain, still functions properly. You could go to etherscan.io and use the right contract function and do all the features and use all the things the contract does. It has nothing to do with me. Like, I am irrelevant. The peer-to-peer network that you are, when you participate, you either claim your coins for free as a Bitcoin holder, if you had coins at the snapshot, or you can transform your Ethereum into HEX, and the bucket's empty every day. Here's your, I think there'll probably be like 500 million HEX today. And then here's an empty bucket where people put Ethereum. And then at the end of the day, the bucket's empty out. And if you were 10% of the Ethereum, you get 10% of the HEX. Now, when I say get, you're minting them, you're mining them, right? You are the network, you're executing the code, or paying someone else to execute your code for you. It's voluntary and awesome and amazing, and just it can prevent people from getting scammed. If they put their money into the S&P 500, they don't have it left to get scammed. If they put their money into their own personal business and they're a good business person, then they don't have money to get scammed, right? You have to deprive these scams of resources because the other two things don't work. The enforcement is post facto and doesn't get much of the money back. And the yelling at them to not get scammed, they just don't listen. And half the time you do the world worse by advertising things people hadn't heard of. And that really, in my mind, only leaves this third option of outcompeting scams for resources by advertising honest, good projects with better marketing and truthful marketing. Because you don't have to lie about crypto. Crypto is awesome. You don't have to inflate or lie about it at all. It's awesome, right? But is anyone else actually doing that? Is anyone else trying to do the thing that might actually prevent people from being scammed? No. They do the opposite thing. They do the thing that doesn't work. And they scream and they yell and they moan and they cry and they say how terrible and horrible everything is. And then the scams just make more and more money because they don't realize that what they're doing is harmful. I stopped. I used to cry out against scams very hard until I realized that I was doing more harm than good. People just don't listen. They don't listen. I invented another thing that I do that these guys aren't smart enough to use, even though I've told them about it. It's called a risk diode. A diode just lets electricity flow one direction. You can do the same thing with risk. If you're already being scammed, I can denounce it and explain why it's terrible, but not name it. And then you, the person that's already being scammed, you know what I'm talking about. But the new guys that aren't being scammed yet, they don't know what to Google to see the sales pitch for the scam to fall for it. I invented that. I'm the one doing that. I'm the one popularizing that. I'm doing a better job stopping scams than these idiots that are making the scams more popular by flapping their lips about them all the time. But they're too stupid to realize it. And I try and share this with them, but it's just so hard because they pride themselves on their ignorance. What type of person prides himself on ignorance? It's tragedy. It's just straight tragedy. Somebody says, I'm just going to read the chat. Like I understand scams. I would prefer they all go away. There's only one way I can think of that scales that could really make an impact. All right. Why I don't. So first, when someone can't speak properly or capitalize, you have a low expectation for their question. So why I don't see the token on EtherScan? Because you're stupid. You're very stupid. Okay. Go to etherscan.io and leave that window open, and then go to pumpamentals.com, and right up at the top of the website, right? There's the intro banner, and you scroll down. Right up at the top, it says the HEX contract address is, and you copy it and you paste it in EtherScan. If you can't do that, you're very, very, very stupid, and you need help. You need to go to someone who is technical to help you, because you will lose your money. You will be scammed. You will do stupid things, right? You have in cryptocurrency, you have personal responsibility. You are responsible for your security. You are responsible for protecting your private keys. You are responsible to make sure you're using the right contract address that holds the software that you want to use. You are responsible for understanding how that software works. It's hard. It's complicated. You actually have to be a little bit smart, right? Don't be an idiot. Have someone help you. If you can't find the contract in EtherScan, you're stupid. You literally just copy paste the address into the bar and click enter. Idiot. All right. People keep asking about the Ethereum that's never moved, right? So the first fantasy is, this Ethereum is going to be recycled and pump the price. Okay, well, that's a cool theory. It's never moved. So now what? Some apologies, I guess? How about some apologies? No? Scumbags. That's what these people are, right? If you call someone a scammer and they're not, you're the scammer. It's gross. Why don't you know who has or may have, or what has or may have the keys to that address? Because you are to have no expectations. You are to expect nothing that is not your money. Stop counting other people's money. It is not going to benefit you. It is not going to do anything good for you at all. Nothing. Period. Now, why? Because if promises were made and you had expectations and you thought good things were going to happen for you, then it might be more like a security. I still don't think it would be a security because you're doing all the work and you're running software and you are the network and there's no essential effort here. Like, I live, I die, doesn't matter. Network continues. Nothing changes. So I believe that probably you could even withstand and still be not a security. Actually saying, this type of thing might have the keys and these type of things might happen. It probably could still be okay, but why risk it? Why risk it? Securities can't list on crypto exchanges. Do you want HEX to list on a crypto exchange? Well, then it needs to not be a security. Do you want it to not be a security? Then it needs to not violate the Howey test. And the Howey test has 4 legs. So let's not violate as many as possible, and then it's not a security, and then it can list on exchange and provide utility to all the participants that are the network. Because it provides utility. It's the world's first cryptocurrency that has a chart of future market supply. And when I say chart, I really mean you got to make your own chart, but you're aware of what the future market supply can be because people are declaring when they can sell by staking. It's the first cryptocurrency to monetize the time value of money where people are paid more to stake longer, just like a CD in the real world. It's the world's first blockchain CD. It's truly innovative. It's truly awesome. There's tons of other innovation in there. It's too technical to even explain to you. But people that won't open their eyes and listen, they hate it. The opposite happens in our chat rooms where people are talking about how much they love it and how great it is and extremely happy and extremely thankful. Explain to me how there's such a wide difference between the people that have used it and love it and the people that don't know anything and hate it. It's like, if you like cryptocurrency and you've heard a no-coiner or a fiat maximalist explain to you how stupid cryptocurrency is and you understand how frustrating it is to hear that, even though it's one of the highest appreciating assets in the history of mankind, and it could truly change the relationship of man and government forever. We could have less wars because they'll have to actually tax you for war instead of just inflating the currency. There's so many good things that come from it, but these no-coiners and fiat maximalists just refuse it. Well, that's how I feel when a maximalist Bitcoin guy tells me how stupid my project is. But in reality, it's not just my project. It's every other project that he doesn't own. So if he buys it, it's awesome. But if he didn't buy it, it's the most biggest scam in the entire universe. Okay. Who's the scammer? The person that tells you the truth and builds something amazing that's never been done before, ever, that provides features that are necessary and required to replace the banksters? Banks exist and they have products. And if you want to get rid of banks, you must replace every product that they provide. Banks have $7.2 trillion in the CDs in the United States and China alone. You want to replace them? Someone has to build a peer-to-peer, audited, verifiable, trustless system to replace them, to make the world more efficient, to have a less overhead. I built that. And the naysayers and the haters, they don't even understand how important that is. There's more money in CDs and time deposits than there is in printed cash. Guess what? It's more important and addresses a larger market than any other cryptocurrency. What was Bitcoin designed to do? Replace fiat. Okay. Well, does it replace any of the other financial instruments that aren't cash? No. It has time locking, but it can't pay rewards. It has, you can try and build on top of it, but they kill you, right? They used to have like an 80 byte opcode, then they made it 40, or it was 60 and they made it 30, something like that, because they wanted to kill off Counterparty that was trying to build on top of Bitcoin. So Counterparty died, and everything that could have been built on Counterparty died. And then Omni tried to build on top, and it kind of works, but now it does under $100 of volume a day. And so everything that's ever tried to build on top of Bitcoin has been slaughtered. I am aware of that because I've been around for the 4 or 5 years that you've needed to know that those things didn't exist and then came into existence and then were killed off and failed to find product market fit. So there was this narrative that Bitcoin was going to be this network that was the network that allowed everyone to have programmable money. It never happened. It never happened. It's so shitty that you can't even use Bitcoin to buy a ticket to a Bitcoin conference. I'm not kidding you. I've been to a lot of conferences. They don't accept Bitcoin because it sucks. It literally sucks. You want to donate to Andreas Antonopoulos? He doesn't accept Bitcoin. He only accepts fucking Patreon and credit cards because Bitcoin can't bill you every month. I tell you the truth. But these scumbags that bought a bag of Bitcoin and want you to buy in after them at a higher price, right? And told you to buy the top at 20K when I told you to short 19, right? They're the ones that are telling the world the truth, right? No, I'm the one that is telling the world the truth. I am the one that has the numbers on my side. And that's the reason there's a trail of bodies behind me of every maximalist that has ever stepped. Everyone that's had the courage or the balls to even attempt to speak to me has been destroyed because the reality is on my side. I am the one with my eyes open looking at the real world. They're living in a bubble with their little bag of Bitcoin, and they're hoping and waiting to make the mad gains that I made getting in earlier than them because I bought earlier than they did. I've mined full blocks on my own with no pool, 50 block reward. Me, with my computer, I did that. These other guys got in years after me. Oh, I think this might be cool. Right? And bought in. Where did Peter buy? Peter bought at 700. Where did I buy? 30. Sorry, bro. Sorry you had to pay, more than 20x more. Oopsie-doo. You're bad, dude. Right? Because I'm on the cutting edge. I understand what the new things are before other people do because I got nothing but free time to read about this stuff. I got nothing. I've never stopped learning. I've never stopped absorbing information. And that's why I can give it to you for free. Everyone else tries to charge you for it. I don't have ads on my YouTube channel. I don't have trading links on my YouTube channel. I don't have, I've never promoted a product on my YouTube channel no matter how many emails I get. Dozens a week. Please, can you talk about our product, Richard? Please. We'd really love to work with you. All day long, and I don't do it. Why? Because I care about you guys. I care about you guys. If HEX goes to $1 trillion, which is designed to, or it goes to 100 billion, or it goes to 1 billion, it's not going to affect my life. My life is not going to change. I already have all the stuff I want. I've been retired since 2003 actually. I retired at 24 years old. I've been retired a really long time. My quality of life isn't going to change. What I care about now is legacy. I want to make an impact. I want to make the world a better place. And it's just disgusting to me that I write self-help books. You can read them at t.me/scivive, like Survive Through Science. I give free everything, and I get yelled at like I'm a scammer, and it just is so frustrating. I mean, I'm numb to it now. Like, it's actually not frustrating, but frustration is not the right word. I feel sorry for these people. I truly feel sorry for them because I believe they have potential, and I believe they have the ability to understand things, and they starve themselves of becoming smarter, and they starve themselves of being better people because they pride themselves on their ignorance. And that is a tragedy. Learning is fun. Learning is easy. You just sit there and read, and then you can come up with cool ideas, right? Like, I have cool ideas on how to better get rid of scams. I have cool ideas on how to make more efficient cryptocurrencies. I have so many good ideas I want to share with the world. And what is these other guys doing? They're pumping their bags, telling you to buy what they bought because they bought it, and they don't understand anything else, and they barely understand what they have. And then they want to control your life and your decisions through their ignorance. And that is not ethical. It is not good. It is not honorable. It is not ethical. It is disgusting. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go now because about 20 minutes ago, the first share price increase in HEX should have occurred. So let's go. Now I'm going to go.hex.win. You guys should. Let's all do this right now. Let's be smart. Let's actually learn about the world. Let's stop listening to talking heads. Let's start seeing and touching and learning ourselves, right? You guys are on mobile, you're screwed. I'm sorry. This is a desktop thing, right? Because you can't use two screens very easily. If you're an advanced mobile user and you know how to use a split screen, then you can still have the YouTube open. Congratulations, but probably only 0.5% of you guys knows how to do that. I mean, I'll tell you how to do it. Like, if you're on Android, just hit the bottom left corner, the 3 lines. It's going to bring up a list of your windows. Click the middle bar, the middle icon over the top of one of your windows and tell it, split view. And you just click it, and it's going to go to the top or the bottom, and then you can open up another window in this remaining space, right? So in that remaining space, we want to go to go.hex.win. Now, actually, you mobile guys need to install a different browser anyway. So let's just talk desktop, guys. Desktop, guys. First, click pumpamentals.com. You can get a 10% bonus. If you transform Ethereum into HEX, you're going to get 10% more. If you free claim and use a Bitcoin signature to safely and securely get free HEX, you're going to get 10% more. So click pumpamentals.com. That'll set the cookie. And then go to go.hex.win. That's go.hex.win. And you're going to be able to see one of the easiest to use front ends for HEX. Like I said, you could go to etherscan.io and make it work through the write contract function or the read contract function. It's a little bit harder. This one's easier. I'm sure you'll see more of these over time. So if we go here to, you want to go to metamask.io and install MetaMask. Now for demo purposes, you really could just enter anything you want as your key. So when you start and you make a new wallet and it says, you know, it's very important to save these keywords and all that stuff, you could just say like, remind me later and just skip that. But remember that is, if you ever do use that wallet, that is your money. Those keys are your money, and whoever has those keys can spend your money. And if you don't have those keys, you can't. So like maybe when we're done looking at it, just right click and remove MetaMask and just reinstall it later. But installing it and having it now, or maybe a lot of you guys already have MetaMask. You go to hex.win, and then, you know, click connect, and now you're going to be able to see what's going on. And so what's going on in here? When you go to the home page, we're writing on day 4 of the system, and this will be the first day that the share price increases. And we can see that there's now 48 ETH in the bucket to be transformed into HEX at the end of the day. Now there's 51. It real-time updates. Everything's real-time, which is amazing innovation. Most cryptocurrency things, you're hitting F5, you're wasting a lot of bandwidth, and you can't see what's really going on in the network because you keep mashing F5, and you can't just sit there and watch. HEX is built better. You can just sit there and watch, and the real time, everything updates. Oh, look, more people are, putting ETH in. Oh, look, the share rate changed. Oh, like, it's awesome. And I would imagine that you're going to see a lot more cool features coming out from different people because they're telling me about the cool features they're building. For instance, someone built a Telegram bot that tells you every single thing that happens in the contract in a Telegram window. So you just go to, if you're on Telegram, you go to Hex Win Bot, like @ Hex Win Bot, and you can tell it to activate whatever you want, like how many transactions are being done, right? How many people are staking, how many people are claiming, how many people are transforming, all that stuff, real time. I didn't have anything to do with it. The guy just built it. He messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I want to build something cool." I'm like, "Okay." And then, month later, a couple weeks later, he's like, "Hey man, look what I built." I'm like, awesome. And this happens all the time. Had another guy, Kyle, volunteer, and he built a contract which lets you enter the adoption amplifier lobby over the remaining period that it's open. So you don't care about whether it was, a better ratio or worse ratio on any given day. You're entering over a longer time frame. Kind of dollar cost average again is what it would be called. He built that. I didn't even know he was building it. It was just done. He's like, "Hey, look what I got." I'm like, pretty cool, man. Tweeted it like, "Hey, check this out," right? What else? StakeHex.com, Paul. He built a whole simulation of the HEX contract, and you can go in the global variables in the bottom right and change when you think people claim and how many people claim and how long they'll stake. And then it simulates, what type of returns everyone will get. Awesome. And everything to do with it. He built it, right? This is a truly peer-to-peer distributed, amazing thing that people truly love. They love it. They love it so much, they make their own companies, and they make their own meetup groups, and they make their own chat rooms. And they, somebody put the logo on the homepage of the piratebay.org. I don't know if it's still there. Let's take a look. No, it's back to normal. So I guess for a few days, the piratebay.org had the HEX logo on it, and it was a referral link. Now, why did that happen? Is it because of some essential effort on my part? Is it because some thing that you've been promised? No. I wasn't promised it. You weren't promised it. It just happened because it is designed well. A fully functional, perfectly, okay, not perfectly, a fully functional, very, very well innovative and new design system exists now. And it's audited. It's got 3 audits. It's beautiful and it's working. It's working amazingly. It's the second most popular product and the second most popular blockchain in the entire world. What more could you want? It's free for Bitcoin holders. It's the world's first blockchain CD. It's designed to go up 10,000x in 2.5 years. Will it? I have no idea. But that's what it's designed to do, right? That's the design intention. So if I design something, right? If I build a Ferrari and I just build 2, I know they're going to go up in value. You know they're going to go up in value. Is that a security? No. If I have a rare coin, does that go up? No. There's a lot of things in the world that are designed to appreciate, like Bitcoin did, and is up to 750,000x, and then they achieve their design intentions. Well, that's great. Was it a guarantee? No, right? And I still believe the price will move around a lot. I think the price is designed to move around less because we should have less volatility because people can time their stakes to end at periods that maybe not as many other people are ending their stakes. And that should allow the market to understand what liquidity looks like in the future and more accurately price the future because they have more data about the future. That's an awesome innovation. We'll see what it really does, right? I don't know what the real world effect will be. I can tell you how it was designed to perform and what it is, designed to do. But what it would really do, I have no idea. No one does. We just have to wait and see. So, yeah, I'm really excited and really happy and really proud about what's been built. And I must say, it's exceeding my expectations in some areas. I didn't expect to be the number 2 thing on Ethereum in 2 days. Wow, that's really good, really fast. Can't be much better, actually, right? There's only 1 slot above, so amazing. I didn't expect to have, the front page of the Pirate Bay for a few days. Awesome. And I didn't expect other people to be making their own chat rooms, right? Like some German guys have their own German hex chat with their own German meetup. I had another guy that is in charge of China. He's like, I want to make this big in China. I'm like, cool, go ahead. And, translates all the videos to Chinese and put up a YouTube and all this other stuff. These are all volunteers. These are all volunteers that believe. They believe in something that is already working and is already performing better than I even thought. It's awesome. Like I was here when Bitcoin didn't have, the logo figured out. I was here when Bitcoin didn't have a currency symbol on the UTC, not UTC, but ISO standard. I've been in Bitcoin since damn near when it started, right? And I see that what we're doing, it looks a lot better, a whole lot better, like more secure, faster, easier to use. I mean, HEX is already listed on exchanges, a lot of them. I didn't do anything, nothing. They choose to do these things. So HEX is listed on BuyDesk, who I think actually lets you send real fiat, so they're not like a distributed exchange. I think they actually touch real fiat. Don't quote me on it. I've never used them, right? I just know that they're trading, and there's, I think they're the highest volume place that they're trading, that HEX is trading at currently. But I'm not really watching it that hard. So maybe go to the chat rooms, go to t.me/hex charts or t.me/hex trading or t.me/hex crypto or hex memes or hex AA or hex claims or hex news or hex videos. Bitcoin doesn't have all that. Bitcoin's pitiful. All other cryptocurrencies are actually pitiful compared to the way HEX is running its social. Like our social on Telegram is unbeatable. I built a bot that has a menu. So you can go into Hex Crypto, t.me/Hex Crypto, and you could type !pasta, and it's going to give you a menu of every common question everybody asks. Who owns the ETH? Where's the ETH going? Why won't the price dump on day 353? All these things, right? And you're like, !pasta, !dump, !ETH. And then we got so many questions about the ETH that we just made a whole channel dedicated to it. And then we just made Hex AA, which is the adoption amplifier channel, and then pinned was the answer that used to be the hotkey for !ETH. And then we'll just keep doing that, right? Like if we get so many questions about one thing, we'll just break that off into its own chat room, pin the answer up at the top, and then people can discuss and learn and watch videos. And, you know, I've talked about this for so many years now that everything you could possibly ask, I've pretty much answered. Like there's a finite range of questions that people could have. And over these couple of years, I've found them all. And so I've already answered all these things. And if you look at the bottom of videos, we have a volunteer named Michael, and he just timestamps. He just finished timestamping a 7-hour video that I did a couple days ago. Do you know how amazing that is for someone to go through and timestamp a 7-hour long video? And he timestamps it to a degree that I would not be able to do that. It would be too time consuming for me. I would give up on that. He does it, and it's amazing. No one else has that. Like, we have the best timestamps. We have the best chat. We have the best logo. Like, I love our community. Our community is awesome. So good. It shits on the Bitcoin community. And I know because I'm in the Bitcoin community. Shits on it. Hard. No comparison. Sorry, guys. That's the reality. If you want to stop sucking, go ahead and build a good chat room that has any of the features I'm talking about, and then I'll say good things about you. I don't own any Monero. I say good things about it. Do you see me being a prick and like lying about technology because I don't own a bag of it? Seems to be real popular with a lot of other people, right? All right. So let's see if I can see. Since this is the first time the price should ever have gone up, the share price, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be able to see it in the claim screen. Nope, stake screen. Okay. So I think the share rate was 100 million, and now it's 99.989 million. So I'd have to invert that for like an increase, I guess. So subtract it and invert it maybe. Let's try it. 100 million minus 9989. I gotta get the zeros to match up. Is that the right number of zeros? So it should be 998 and then 6 zeros. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, so the 9 takes place there. All right, so that's the difference. I didn't do it right. Yeah, it's too hard for me to do on stream. When I'm being social and like talking to chat, it's hard for me to do math. So the share rate used to be 100 million. Now it's 99.98 million, which if I just reduce it down where you used to get 100 units, like, God, it's so hard. We're using integer math, so we have to inflate the integers to be very large to maintain resolution when we do division. And so the numbers are like insanely large because of that reason, because if we used more reasonable for humans numbers, then we would lose resolution and detail, and it wouldn't be as specific and exact, and we wouldn't get as good computation. So we're using these giant numbers for that reason. So the share rate started out at 100 million shares per hex, and now there's 99.98 million, which is a reduction of 0.02%. So I'm not going to invert it and tell you how much of a price increase that is, but it seems like a 0.03 increase maybe, right? So like if you give somebody a 50% discount, it means they would have had to pay 100% more, right? So there's a relationship between discount and increase, and a small discount always leads to a larger increase. So in this case, we have a 0.02% less shares for 1 day having passed. And so I think if I do 1 divided by 0.02%, maybe that does it. Now 0.02% is like 0.0002, I think. This didn't work at all. That didn't work at all. Yeah, I can't do it on stream. The math's too hard for me. So you used to get 100 million shares yesterday per hex that you stake. Now you get 99.98, and that's for 1 day having passed. And the next day it'll be worse, and the next day it'll be worse, and the next day it'll be worse. And the share rate, it will always be more expensive. You'll never ever get more shares for your hex than you will at the day you're looking at, because the price only goes up, the share price. All right. What else? Oh yeah, you guys that didn't claim your HEX, or yeah, if you didn't use your Bitcoin to claim your HEX, every week you're going to bleed out 2%, and it's going to be given to the stakers. So you're just bleeding. All you guys that are listening that have Bitcoin, you're smart to claim earlier. It's free. The longer you wait, you'll have nothing left. If you try and claim on day 351, you can't. You lost it all. It's all gone. Got given to other people. Sorry, right? If you claim on week 25, half of it's already gone. And the speed bonus is also cut in half. So everyone that got in the first day, they got 20%. You get in on week 25, you're looking at 10% now. So you're missing half your stack and you're only getting 10% bonus instead of having your whole stack on day one and getting a 20% bonus. And getting, if you lock and you stake, you're getting paid all that interest. Well, now you're just like the early bird gets the worm. This system is designed to reward people that stake longer and larger and earlier. That's how the system is designed. And you can see the returns that you would make by staking by just slapping a number in the stake amount here and then slapping a length. And then it's going to tell you what your percentage returns would be. And they're usually quite high. I can't get it to give me a number because this account doesn't have any HEX in it. So I would like to see this actually show you the percentage returns you could get even though you don't have HEX. I think that would be really useful. So yeah. All right, I'm gonna go look at chat and see. I guess I could tell you how much ETH got sent to the contract. Let's take a look. Let's go click the top left and click show all transform lobbies. And yesterday there was 2,516 ETH that went in. And each ETH got 203,000 HEX. There you go. Not bad. If you free claim, you're not going to do as well. You'd have to have a whole lot of Bitcoin. Now if more people put in ETH, then that number goes down. Let's go to chat here. Somebody's talking about this new exchange that messaged me and just said they wanted to list, and I'm like, okay. I think it's funny. Like these exchanges message me and they're like, hey, you want to list? And I'm like, more on ramps is better. Why are you asking me? Like, because I don't have anything to do with it. Like, what am I gonna do? It's an ERC20 smart contract. It's the most widely used, accepted format for a cryptocurrency to be able to list. There's more of these listed than any other type of thing in the whole cryptocurrency history of man. So they just, they literally on their exchange system, they just type the contract address, the number of decimals, which is 8, and the ticker symbol, which is HEX. And that's just about all they have to do. That's it, because it's distributed finance. It's the right platform. It's amazing. It's better. It took Bitcoin forever to get listed anywhere. It was only listed one place for years, Mt. Gox. There's just nowhere else. HEX is listed on McAfee DEX. I think McAfee DEX, Fork Delta, BuyDesk, this new place I've never been to yet called Tags. But I did go to their homepage and they had an address on the bottom left corner and said they were Austrac registered and stuff. So, okay, that looks fancy if that's real cool, right? Regulated and has an address and stuff. Maybe that's better. Maybe it's not. Like, I don't know. Like, go find out, right? I don't have anything to do with it. That's awesome. Everyone is just volunteering and listing and participating and being the network and building stuff and making memes and just, it's all amazing. It's all working exactly as it was designed. That's awesome. It's bad. I didn't expect these things. I didn't expect the front page of the Pirate Bay. I didn't expect a Telegram bot. I didn't expect all of these DEXs listing, right? I knew Fork Delta and Ether Delta because anyone could add them. But now a lot of other people that require, I guess, manual intervention are adding, right? That's amazing. I'm having tons of people reach out to me that want to learn more and be part of it. What more could you possibly ask for to be in at the first week that a new, amazing, innovative thing that could really change the world existed? That's magical. Look, I've started a lot of businesses, and I got to tell you, most businesses, you got to punch really, really hard to get anyone to care at all. Most people don't care. For some reason, HEX is just lighting up fires, man. Lighting them up. Just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Somebody said, I don't know if this is true, But like somebody in chat saying, use that new exchange with the X in it. I gotta find it. He says there's a lot of buy orders. Okay. I think it's like Zags. I feel bad now. Tags? Tagz. Okay. Cool. I will go look at their website, and I'll take a look after the stream. I'm just looking through chat now. Somebody says, what do you think about people that received on day 3 that got 4x as many HEX as they'd used as day 1? I warned everyone and told everyone that people over FOMO day 1 and told everyone you might want to spread your entry over a few days. That's what I said. I said it publicly, I said it in chat, and I gave you the EOS charts, and since they had some similarities, I said, go look at these charts, right? And pulled the data for you and gave you the data source. What more can I possibly do for you? Get people to not over FOMO day 1? How? How am I going to get people to not over FOMO day 1? Tell them not to? Okay, I did that. What else? That's what people do, man. They over FOMO day 1. Like, I can't, there's nothing I can do about it. Let's hope that, more people see how awesome it is, and then they pump up the participation in every area later, right? Because that's what we're doing. We're getting scale now, right? You find out something's awesome, you tell a couple people. And that's the feedback I'm hearing. People really love it. It works so well. I've used a lot of cryptocurrencies, and I'm telling you, HEX works better. It does. Actually use it. Actually try it. If you haven't actually tried it, you don't understand how good it is. You just install MetaMask. Install MetaMask and go to go.hex.win, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. Why isn't HEX on CoinMarketCap? Well, they have a really, 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 really long form that needs to be filled out, and it ain't filled out yet. So that's that. It's a really, 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 really long form. Like, they want you to do chain analysis. They're like, okay, what's a list of the top holders and what are their addresses, and put it in an Excel sheet. Okay. Okay, we need a logo with exactly the specs. Okay, sure. It's just a lot of effort. What's the total HEX supply? It really depends on how many people free claim. So we've had like 116,000 BTC free claim, like maybe 6 hours ago, 8 hours ago when I looked. And so, there's only about 9 million that can actually try to claim after all the penalties, whale penalties, and multi-sig can't claim, and Mt. Gox can't claim and stuff. So we've got about 1.3% of the total possible BTC claimed already claimed after day 3 here. I think a lot of that happened on day 1. So, really the supply is solely a function of how many people claim. For the most part. It's a very, very, very tiny sliver that's a function of how short people's stakes are. But it's the vast majority is how many people claim. And I think that the end supply after the big payday on day 353, which is the most important part of staking, is that you get all the unclaimed coins, times multipliers, times critical mass, times the virality. That huge, huge, huge reward on day 353 is what you want to, stake longer and larger and start it earlier. That's the primary incentive in HEX for staking, right? After the big payday on 353, then it's, just a low inflation of 3.69 maximum. But the rewards during this early phase are just 100x higher, 50x higher, some very large number higher, because we're going from no coins to a lot of coins. Just like Bitcoin went from no coins to 18 million coins, we're going from no coins to, in between 500 and 740, something in there, like maybe 540 to 740 is the range. It depends on how many people free claim. And it's by design. Like, it would have been extremely easy to choose any range by just, like, right now you get 10,000 HEX per Bitcoin. 20% speed bonus, 10% if you click pumpamentals.com or any other refer. Would be very easy to just remove 0 and be like, okay, you get 1,000 hex per Bitcoin or 100 hex per Bitcoin, and that would just reduce our scale. But that scale was well thought out and chosen for very specific reasons. I think it's a superior scale. No one likes to pay 0.00001 for something. People do not like decimals. Well, how do you get rid of decimals? You use a larger scale. So if you plan on having a high value and you plan on being successful and you plan on doing some, crazy appreciation, well, then you need to move that decimal point, over so that you have numbers people like to use, right? I would rather that with HEX, no one ever have to use a decimal. They suck, right? Like, decimals aren't fun. So, except Dewey Decimal. The Dewey Decimal system at the library was okay. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been to a library before. Maybe it's just an old person thing. What if HEX is worth more than the platform it runs on? Well, it's designed to be. So what you'll discover is that anytime you have a value ecosystem, certain amounts of value are captured at different levels in the system. So Amazon as an endpoint captures most of the value. The shipping companies and the manufacturers do not. Netflix as an endpoint captures most of the value. The production companies and the internet providers that they're broadcasting over do not. And so in the world that we live in today, the majority of value in an ecosystem appears to be captured at endpoints. So to us, Ethereum is a dumb pipe. It's a awesome pipe that has a lot of cool innovation and technology being rolled into it. There's a hard fork coming up in just, I believe, 4 days that introduces things that could allow us to do 1,000x more transactions on chain with ZK rollups and optimistic rollups. Anyone else doing that? Anyone else getting 1,000x the performance on chain? No? Okay, well, the ecosystem that HEX is built in is. So that's awesome, right? So even HEX itself is an immutable code that cannot be changed by anybody. But the system that it runs on is being improved all the time. And it's open source so that you can improve it too. That's so good. It's so good. A lot of the reason that HEX works as well as it does is because Ethereum is well designed. It just has a lot of tools that are done that make everything a lot easier. Like MetaMask works great. Not using a UTXO system and using an account system so that you don't have to wait for a confirmation to do a spend. It's like pretty fun, right? You can still do that with a UTXO system, but you have to tell your client that you want to. And then it's like you'll run into problems if there's an orphan, I think. Hard technical stuff to explain to you. So I believe that HEX, HEX will be worth more than Ethereum because it's an endpoint more than Ethereum is. Ethereum was designed to be a world computer. It didn't work out. It was designed to, do all these amazing things, and it didn't work out. And it's got a lot of bag holders from higher, and it went down 95%. And I think it's much easier to find price appreciation and price discovery on something that doesn't have bag holders from higher. And so I think there's a natural advantage to lower market cap cryptocurrencies for percentage appreciation. And I think there's an advantage for new cryptocurrencies for price appreciation. And I think there's an advantage for endpoints that have a closer relationship to the consumer than a more distant relationship. So, I believe in HEX. And if its value exceeded the network that it's on by a large enough amount, then you would just allow miners to pay in HEX for transaction fees instead of paying in Ethereum as it is now, right? Now you can mine your own blocks. It's just very hard. So most people, they choose to pay someone else to run their code for them, which is what mining a block is. And so in Ethereum, mining a block means you're going to run somebody else's code that wants you to run it, and they give you the private key to run it. And you're also going to find to find hash against some nonce that meets a difficulty target, and that allows you to write the block. And so you're doing computation and the hash finding proof of work burning of electricity. You're doing both. And in Bitcoin, you're not really doing that. In Bitcoin, you're really just burning electricity. You're not doing any computation because it's not a Turing complete system. Like people advertise Bitcoin as programmable money? You can't program shit with it. Nothing. It's pretty much useless, which is why anyone that tried to build on it has failed entirely, because you can't do anything with it. I would love to have launched HEX on Bitcoin. I wasn't able to. It's purposefully restricted in its abilities in the hopes that it will be more secure. It hasn't worked. It's had 2 inflation bugs where anyone could print as much free money as they wanted. So it hasn't worked at all, but I mean, that was the attempt to reduce the attack surface by reducing the number of attack vectors by having less opcodes. When Bitcoin was originally first designed, it had more features. Satoshi had a poker client in it. Satoshi had a marketplace client in it. Well, that went away, which is just funny to me because I think those maximalist scumbags that doesn't understand anything about anything or how markets work or why other things are out appreciating what they've got. I bet if you tried to build a cryptocurrency built around marketplaces or poker, they'd tell you were an asshole. But it's what Satoshi did. They're just too stupid. They don't even know the history of the client to even realize that. We'll see. There's a smart Bitcoin maximalist that I'm doing an interview with on the 9th, December 9th. His name's Giacomo Zucco. And I also have an interview coming up with somebody that I don't think he's a Bitcoin maximalist now, but I don't think he started that way. I'm going to be talking to Ian Bellina on the 7th. So I'm sure everyone's going to love that. So I'm talking to both ends of the spectrum. What used to be an altcoin maximalist, an ICO maximalist, I believe, and what is a Bitcoin maximalist. And now they're both Bitcoin maximalists, right? So it's going to be very, very, very interesting. I think it will be a more productive and fun and useful conversation than the extremely disappointing performance that Peter presented. It might actually be my worst interview I've ever done, which is weird because usually my interviews turn out to be really good and have new information and but Peter's was the worst interview I've ever had. That was long. I had one like yesterday where it was only 5 minutes and you're like, why did I bother? Like a combative journalist that just like, actually I think Peter's is still worse, but and I hope he sends his heroes to me to be educated. I hope whoever he thinks really knows what's going on, I hope he brings them right here so that I could educate them. And if they truly are as smart as they think they are, we're not even going to disagree on anything because I'm just presenting reality. I'm representing reality. When Giacomo Zucco comes on, we might not disagree on anything. If he understands the technology, I'm just telling you guys facts, right? So if some other smart guy knows the facts as well as I do, there's not going to be any disagreement. I hope that happens. Like, I really look forward to it. When debate with Andreas, he declined. I offered, he said no. I don't think he's ready for it. And I don't want to disagree with people. I just want to say the truth. Like, I am not trying to be a drama queen, right? If I wanted to be a drama queen, I'd make funny GIFs of these people and ridicule them and attack them personally, and it would be viral and funny, right? But I don't do that. I don't talk about how they look, and I don't talk about, like, it is not in my interest to insult these people. I don't want to do it. I could do it. I'd probably be pretty good at it, but it's not what I want to do. I want to educate. I want to learn. If someone knows more than me, I want to learn from them. And if someone doesn't understand something right, I want to educate them. That's the highest and best use, I think, of everyone's time. I don't think clout chasing and attacking people and finding reasons to disagree with people. Do you know how easy it would be for me to find reasons to argue with and insult Andreas? It would be very, 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 very easy. Very easy. Like, I guess I lightly did it when I said he doesn't accept Bitcoin, he accepts Patreon, right? I could talk about his societal beliefs regarding inclusion and forcing his belief system down people's throat. I could talk about being in Bitcoin from the beginning, but yet not having any money. Oops, how do you do that? Right? Maybe provide some value and build something that people want instead of doing this all day. Because you want to know the truth? If you're smart and you present your argument well and you make one video right once, you can just link people to it. And you don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You can just link to it. That's what I do in my chat rooms. Where's the ETH go? @HEX AA. And it used to be !ETH, right? But then it got so big that we had to make its own chat room. And then I don't have to go in there and type it myself because I already did a great job once and I refine it and it becomes thoroughbred and now that it's done. If you're still going on stage talking one by one to 100 people at a time, you're bad at marketing. You're bad at marketing. It doesn't scale. You personally speaking to an audience doesn't scale. What scales is advertising. I think what happens is a lot of people enjoy going to these conferences because they want to bask in the glow of the adoration of the public, right? The public sees you as a personality. They get a chance to interact with you. They're high-fiving you. They're hugging you. They're taking selfies with you. And I think a lot of people, they fall for that and they enjoy it, and then they spend more time at these things than they really should, right? I want to make a difference in the world. And me talking to 100 or even 1,000 people in an event is comedic. I could email my 20,000 email list for HEX. I could talk to my 100,000 followers on Twitter and YouTube. So of what real value are these, maybe out of that, 1,000 people that are there, maybe you're having like a good impact on 200 or 300 that are conscious and watching when you're doing your thing, right? It just doesn't scale. It's not good numbers. If you spent your whole life talking to people one by one to get an idea across, you're not spreading ideas properly. Do you think Fortnite, the video game, had an evangelical guy walking around going, "Hey man, you should play Fortnite. It's cool"? It's stupid and it doesn't work and it doesn't scale. And if that's how you've spent your entire life, you've wasted your life. I'm sorry to say it. You didn't know something else was available to you. You didn't know there was something better to do. My bad, dude. Like, there's other people that are doing things at scale that are working, and you should do those things, right? Do you think Satoshi went, door to door selling people on Bitcoin? Nope. He never even stepped outside the house. He never let anyone see his face. And look at what he did worked out, right? You got to do the things that work. This one-to-one feel good, hey, look how cool I am evangelism. I have done it recently just because we had a launch coming up, but it's not really where I want to spend my time. I want to do things at scale. And speaking one by one doesn't do it. Let's go down the list here. Can I still claim free HEX? Absolutely. But every day you wait, you lose more of your money. That's how it's designed. So the when HEX is wildly successful, you can't come along and say, "Oh, well, I did nothing at all to help this thing become amazing, so let me dump on everyone's heads." Nope. You will lose all your stake. You'll lose all your ability to claim over 350 days. At the end of day 350, you can't claim anymore. It's over. The referral program goes away. The free money goes away, right? And then it's just a peer-to-peer, trustless, audited cryptocurrency that replaces the miners with stakers, and you get paid to hold the price up instead of getting paid to dump the price. So we pay fees to miners to do transactions, but we do not pay inflation to miners. No. As a matter of fact, if you're an average length, average size staker, there is no inflation to you. It's 0% because you're the one receiving the inflation. So, 3% more coins exist. Cool. You just happen to have 3% more coins now. If you're an average length, average size staker. Lucky you, right? Like, it's awesome. It's amazing. But people don't understand it because they don't take that time to read or listen. Yeah, I reached out to Senator Decree. He declined. People are scared. Well, wait a second. He didn't. I take that back. I don't think he declined. We may end up doing a video. I mixed him up with somebody else. We communicated, and I think we might do something. Sorry. It's hard to keep track of everybody. Why 500 million HEX available for 3 days? So the number of HEX that are available through the adoption amplifier goes down and only down. It goes down when people make claims. Here's the issue. If you claim, if there's 100 days left for the claim phase, and you claim 100 coins on one day, it doesn't drive the number of coins down by 100 that day, and then the rest of the days stay the same. It drives all of the days down that are left by that 100. It's a damping factor, right? So because of that damping factor, even when people make a lot of Bitcoin claims, it pushes down the amount available in AA by less than you would think because it's spread across all the remaining days. Now, as less days become remaining, then it amplifies the effect that free claims will have because it'll have a larger impact, right? So like on the last day, if 100,000 coins claim, then that will immediately make, a billion less HEX be available, whatever 100,000 times 10,000 is. It'll instantly make that much less to the available adoption amplifier. So what are the options here, right? The only other option would be to have released more supply early, rewarding early guys even more, and then the later guys have less of a benefit to onboard because there's less reward left for them because the early guys took everything. And there's already so much for the early guys that it didn't seem reasonable to front load all of the adoption into the beginning phase and then leave nothing left for the later guys, right? It seems more reasonable to spread it fairly over time. And I told you guys to not over FOMO. You don't listen, or maybe you didn't hear, whatever. Look at the EOS chart, right? That's the only example I got. Their thing was a little similar. Maybe our thing will be a little similar. I don't have any other better resource to trying to predict, what's going to happen, right? Like I have no idea. When this launched, I had no idea how many people claim. I had no idea how many people would, put ETH in. I had no idea any of these things. And I don't know how today's performance is going to affect tomorrow's performance. I don't know when the next big news article is going to come out. I don't know when, some other large entity decides to onboard all their users, right? Maybe somebody that's got an exchange decides to list it. Maybe somebody that, I have no idea when things will happen or if they'll happen. And so I can't, if you're trying to market time and speculate entry, good luck. I don't think it's going to be easy to do. And as I told you, Kyle wrote a contract which will enter you into every single day of the rest of the AA system automatically. So maybe go check that out. It's in HEX News, and I tweeted it. And if you want to find it by Google or Twitter search, I think you just search Kyle and then HEX, or maybe Kyle and join or something. Or you could just go into Hex Crypto, and then someone there will, if you go to t.me/Hex Crypto, why am I slurring? If you go to t.me/Hex Crypto, then you will find someone that tells you where Kyle's tool is. What else? Please explain the day 353 payout. Sure. So right now, only 9 million effective Bitcoin can be attempted to be claimed of the 18 million, which means that 9 million is going to be, multiplied by 10,000, which I think gives you 90 billion. That is going to be given out to the stakers on day 353 by their shares. If you get in early, you get a lower share price, and then when you stake your HEX, you get more shares. If you get in late, you get a less share price, and then you get less shares. And then on day 353, oh, by the way, like when you stake, if you stake longer, you can get up to 3 times the shares. If you stake bigger, you can get up to 10% more shares. It's all built around this currency rewards those who deserve it. You refer people, you deserve a reward. So you mint yourself a reward. If you stake longer, you mint yourself more shares. If you stake bigger, you mint yourself more shares. It rewards the people who deserve it. It's a better designed system. We lined incentives with a better design. So on day 353, you're going to get, at least 90 billion HEX, but it's probably going to be a lot more than that. Why? Because people are stupid and they don't free claim. So it would be 90 billion if everyone free claimed. But is everyone going to free claim? They'd have to do it on the first day. If they didn't all do it on the first day, which the network couldn't even handle, if they didn't all do it on the first day, they start bleeding 2% per week. And it's ticks every day, right? But it ends up about 2% a week. It reduces you by 100% over 350 days. Or 350. So if you count up the people who lost their coins, and Satoshi who's probably dead, and all the late penalties, it's probably, and then you multiply it by the adoption multipliers of virality and critical bonus, which can virality and critical mass, they can up to they multiply by up to 3 that amount. You end up with, maybe what, like 400 billion, 500 billion, something like that. And you can look at it in stakehex.com, right? And you look at Paul's models there. You go to stakehex.com and then just make a stake, right? Say that you claimed, say that you staked, and then look at the chart of the supply, and you'll see it jump up on day 353. And that jump up on day 353 is how much is going to be handed out to the stakers, right? And that's what the game is. The game, I think the game right now is, if you're a speculator and you're trying to day trade and market time and you care about the USD price and stuff, okay, that's its own game, right? But there's a different game, which is how much of a percent of the supply can you own? And it's irrelevant to price, right? So you don't have to think about that stuff. So let's just talk about you getting the largest percent of the ownership of the HEX that will exist at the end of day 353, when the launch phase is over and the referral program goes away and the free claiming goes away, and the only thing that we've got is staking and 3.69% maximum interest per year. And it's very likely to be a lot less than that, because that only gets paid out on a delay at the end of the stake. And the fact that it's delayed reduces the amount that the inflation kicks in, because the snowball's smaller instead of bigger, and then it can't scale, right? So we're going to have less than 3.69% inflation. Now, what are your rewards going to be as a staker? Well, if only 10% of people stake, it'll be 36.9% in HEX, right? If 100% of people stake, which is impossible because someone's going to lose their key, right? Then it would be 3.69%. And we don't have externalities. We don't have mining bills to pay. We don't have electric companies to pay, right? The system just runs. So it's so better. It's so better in so many ways. Yeah. So right now, for me, I think the game is what's the largest percent you can own? And then the price will go up, price will go down. Cool, great, whatever. Let's see that big day 353. How much of this thing that you can have, right? And you want to get in as big as you can, as early as you can, to get the lowest share price, and then stake as long as you can to get the most bonus shares. And then when day 353 hits, then you got your bag, you got your giant actual, like, here it is, and I can't even screw it up. I can't even sell the bottom because it's locked. Imagine if you could have locked your Bitcoin 10 years ago. Boy, would you be happy. You know how many people tried to time the market and buy and sell and outperform and got destroyed because it always goes higher and lower than you think, and then you get liquidated, right? There's beautiful invention from so many perspectives, and has never existed before. Nothing like this has ever existed before. It's amazing and innovative, and the innovation is all over the place. Like, the game theory is innovative, the software is innovative, and how the software was written is innovative, and even the front end is innovative, which we run basic. I'm not even going to explain to you the front end because it's a little complicated, but there's so many cool things. So many cool things. Can you verify if November 21st is the big payday? You can. I don't have it memorized. You'd have to. See, the issue is when you try and think about computing and calendars and dates, there's something called the fence post error. And what the fence post error is, if you want to hold up two panels, right? Like if you're putting up a fence and you have posts and then you have fence, and the fence goes in between the posts. Okay, you want to put up two panels? How many posts do you need? N plus 1. You need 3 posts to hold up 2 panels. Left, panel, post, panel, post, panel, post. 3 posts, right? We screw this up in software all the time. All the time. And so when you ask me, like, okay, is it on X date? I can't remember if that date is when it ends or that date is right after it ended, and that 1 day of, like, difference there, the fence post error, it matters. It makes a big difference. So you need to be very specific looking it up. There's another name for that. It's also called an off by 1 error in software. It's common. Like SegWit2x fork failed to function properly due to an off by 1 error. And I think there was another error in there as well. So I prefer not to make those errors. How will the ETH stake affect the ETH network? It might happen. It might not happen. I don't know. I know it's not profitable. So if I were looking to speculate and make high reward, you can't make high reward staking ETH. It's just not in the design parameters. It's not what it's built for. So it doesn't do it. So I wouldn't participate. It's actually a job, right? Like you have to set up a server farm, and you have to make sure that there's no downtime, and you have to make sure that a lot of stuff happens or you lose money. So it's risky with low reward, and it takes technical expertise. It's not something I'm interested in personally. Somebody says, wouldn't it be real cool if the keys for the AA lobby found themselves in the way of the SENS Foundation? Well, I like that charity. I do like sens.org. So I won't answer your question, but I will say that I do like sens.org. And you know who else likes it? Vitalik, because he gave them a few $1 million. And that's heroic in my opinion. And he gave his money to try and save your life. And I think that anyone that does that is a hero. So good on you, Vitalik. People think, oh, well, you know, it's too many coins. Oh, they're mostly locked up. No, as of 6 hours ago when I looked, they were 70% locked up. So it's already 2/3 less than you thought, right? And how many more will get locked up? I have no idea, right? I'd be very interested to find out. Since the market already knows what the supply will look like, I don't see how you're going to have a less efficient market by giving the market more good, honest data to compute on. I think that helps markets become more efficient, and it should make the price discovery more efficient. Yeah, I'm happy with the way all that works. Somebody says, I staked 25K for 10 years. What do you think? I think you maxed out the bigger pays better bonus. Congratulations, man. Interview Vitalik? Sure. Reach out. Somebody make it happen. Have a message me on t.me/Richard Hart. Will Hex die if I die? Nope. I'm unrelated. I don't matter. It's code on the blockchain. It's immutable. It sits there. You run it. You are the network. I don't matter. All the websites go down. I go down. Chats go down. Everything goes down. Doesn't matter. You just talk to the contract directly through Etherscan or whatever client you want. There's a lot of different clients that can talk to the network. Like, I'm irrelevant. Why is the AA pool not getting smaller? It is. If you mouse over it, you'll see the difference. It's just the difference is small because not enough people are claiming to make a huge impact, because that when you claim, the impact is spread over all the remaining days. And since this is the very beginning, if you claimed 100 coins, it doesn't reduce the AA by 100 coins that day. It reduces the AA by 100 coins over the remaining 340 whatever days, which is like 0.3 coin difference, right? Like, so because of that damping factor, it just makes it, it makes it more static for this period. Static's not bad, right? Like, static's okay. How many days would I recommend to stake? Up to you, man. I mean, that's really, I no longer pays better, but you know, you could set up a ladder where you do multiple stakes that end at multiple times. You can't do that if you're a free claimer. You know, you do your auto stake to one period that you can choose with a minimum of 350 days, no emergency end staking. But if you're using the AA system, or you know, you're referring people, or you're getting them on exchange, like any of those ways, you really can just choose to stake anywhere you want between 1 day and 5,555 days. Up to you. It will be easier for you to choose a date at which your end can stake when there's a visual chart for you to look at. None of those exist yet. So when someone makes one, then looking at that chart, I think would be real exciting and real fun to know, like, yeah, like, look, there's no one ending stake right here, so maybe I'll end stake there. And then that will, I believe, reduce volatility because it reduces supply shock. Like, it's a really cool innovation that just exists in HEX. Explain staking bigger. Does it count under multiple stakes? No, it's single stake. It's used as an anti-spam measure. We want to be good citizens of the network and make everything as efficient as we can, which means making very gas efficient computation, and it means not doing more transactions than necessary. So if you design an incentive where people are rewarded for combining their transactions into one transaction, then it's computationally efficient, it's storage efficient, it's bandwidth efficient. And so it also, on top of all of those things, emulates the way CDs work in the real world, where there's a jumbo CD that if you have over $100,000 in it, they pay you about 10% more interest. So that's the reason we have a bigger pays better, is because of all of those good reasons. That's also the reason you can't add to a stake once it already exists, because we want you to use less of the network. We want you to be computationally efficient. Didn't you actually, all caps? I'm going to read this, but because it's all caps, it's usually low quality, right? I want to yell when I'm reading it. Didn't you actually recommend selling all BTC immediately after snapshot and convert it into ETH and send it to transform into HEX, in which case a person would have 0 BTC and ETH now? I said that I'm not a financial advisor, but that seems like a really cool idea to me. If you want high returns, if you want high ROI, then it seems to me that a new coin with no bag holders from hire and security audits and innovative things, it seems like those are opportunities there that are harder to find in other things. So yeah, I think that's a very cool idea. You could call me biased because I really like HEX, right? Yeah, like I would rather personally have a much larger bag of HEX and no bag of anything else, like really. So it's up to the individual, right? Are you happy with Bitcoin's price performance? Did you like the 20K to 3K? Did you enjoy that? How'd you feel about the 14K to 6,500? Did you like that? Okay. Do you like not having any distributed finance, not getting any free coins, not having a referral program? Okay. Well, if you want better things, come be part of the network. Have better things, right? You're at the beginning of something amazing. Bitcoin began 10 years ago. You weren't there. Well, you got the opportunity now to be part of something that is designed to outperform Bitcoin. Now, will it? I don't know. It's designed to. Let's see what happens, right? So far, so good. We can't be doing much better. We really can't be doing much better. Number 2 on the whole network already. Not a single dollar spent on marketing. $0 spent. Oh my God. Like what? Do you know how good that is? It's really, 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 really good. It's really good. It means everything's working. Oh, I look like I'm talking to a mini-me? Oh, that's so dumb. Get rid of that. Thank you, chat. No more mini-me. Now you can see the green candles. Green candles for price appreciation. You guys may not know this, but in China, the candles are backwards. Green candle means down price, red candle means up price. But in the Western cultures, green candle means up price, red candle means down price. Somebody says, I'm staked into AAA in a big way. Thank you. You're welcome, bro. And thank you for thanking me. Because really, I do deal with an unreasonable amount of hatred. A truly unreasonable amount of hatred. Which is weird as someone who speaks out against scams and scammers and built something that is audited, trustless, peer-to-peer, voluntary. What more can I do? Thanks for shouting, someone says. I'll read the comment in shouting voice. Thanks for shouting! All of a person's BTC wealth would be in the hands of you, right? Hilarious. Guys, do whatever you think is best for you. I built something amazing, okay? If you think it's amazing, come play along. If you think something else is amazing, go do that. Do whatever you want, man. Like, I can only do the best I can do, right? I show you the data, I show you the facts, I present you the real world. You do your own computation. So let's do this analysis right now. Do you care about the price? I think a lot of people are going to say yes. Okay. Do you want to own something that's going to up a lot in value? Okay, yes. Do you want to make a 10x or a 100x? I think you want to make a 100x. Okay. Well, what do we got to do to get a 100x in Bitcoin? Well, it's $7,500 right now. Okay. Well, let's see what the math says here. 7,500 times 100,000. No, we only wanted 100x, right? Okay. To do 100x in Bitcoin, we only need $750,000 Bitcoin each. That's all. That's all we need. Just $750,000 per Bitcoin. We couldn't hold $14,000. We couldn't hold 12,000. We couldn't hold 10,000. We couldn't hold 8,500. We couldn't hold 7,500. We couldn't hold 6,750. We bounced at 6,500. And you want now 750,000 is what you want. I don't know, man. That seems like a long shot to me. What's the market cap of Bitcoin right now? Let's take a look. 18 million coins, $7,500. I'm just assuming it's $7,500. Since I got a browser here, why don't we just look up the price real quick? And the price is $73.80. Okay. So I'll use that in the calculator here. $73.80 times 18 million coins. Oh, we got a $140 billion market cap. Okay. And you want that to go up 100x. That's like 14 trillion or something. If you want to deal with these absurd numbers, you can go to Wolfram Alpha. wolframalpha.com. What? Oh, I misspelled it. And then let's type 140 billion times 100. And it'll just do all the hard stuff for us. 14 trillion. Okay? So you want Bitcoin to be 14 trillion. Do you think Bitcoin is going to reach some friction along the way? Do you think it's going to be smooth sailing? Do you think the banksters are going to go down without a fight? No. Do you think Bitcoin could scale to service enough people to support that valuation? Not in any reasonable time frame, bro. So if you want to make 100x, I find it very, 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 very improbable that you're going to get that within your lifetime in Bitcoin because it's already so high. So what about a new coin that has a low market cap? How much economic energy does it take to move a low liquidity coin up 100x? A lot less. A lot less. So since the only thing that moves the price up is pressing the green button, having a thinner order book to press the green button into causes more price movement. So it's mathematically correct that it is easier with a limited amount of economic input energy to move a smaller thing farther. It's similar to like, what do you think is easier, pushing a freight train by hand or pushing a bicycle by hand? Well, the bicycle. Why? Because it weighs less. Okay, well, what do you think is easier to move multiples of price appreciation? Bitcoin, the heaviest cryptocurrency, or something brand new that's the lightest? The light thing. It moves easier, right? So if you're looking to make 100x or more, or 1,000 or 10,000x, I do not think you're going to get that in Bitcoin. Now, if this wasn't the beginning, and if there was already some huge price to HEX, you might be buying a local high. The price might go down right after you bought it because you bought it after it already went up so much, right? But how far has HEX gone from zero? I don't think it's moved that far, right? Like the market's just opened yesterday. I think yesterday was the first time a market existed. Or maybe I've been working so hard, maybe I'm time zoned out, like maybe it was 2 days or something. This is, I believe that there is great opportunity here. I do not know what the price will do. I'm pretty sure that the statistical likelihood of 1,000x or 10,000x, you can get this here. You might not, but you can. At least it's a range of things that could happen. But in Bitcoin, it's big already, man. Look at the chart. The chart used to go like this, then it went like that, and then it went like that, and now it's going like that, because it's just heavier and heavier and harder to move. That's just how it is, man. All right. For fun, I'm going to look at a couple exchanges because I've never really looked. Might as well. Let me find my chat here. Get someone new on the show to body. You do it. I don't know if you guys have realized this, but I just say things that are true on screen. You guys are the ones that are doing most of the work, right? You bring me the people. You build the cool stuff, right? I'll speak the truth. I don't have time to be reaching out to people, man. Like, you guys do that. All right, let's look at the exchanges here. I'm looking at Fork Delta. Fork Delta's got, oh, it's the wrong ticker. I'm guessing what a ticker might be. I've never used this website. Yep. I guess I'm not going to learn anything here. I'm just going to close that window. All right, buy desk. Buy desk is working. It looks like it's 12 Satoshis. Oh, hold on. It's loading. 9 Satoshis. Yeah. Look at this wick. Someone whipped it up to 500 Satoshis. This is the funniness of illiquid markets, right? Brand new market, thin order books. Someone pressed the buy button and wicked the price up 50 times higher than what it was. I mean, yeah, that's funny. There's even bigger wick? Oh, there's even bigger wicks. Oh my God. That's crazy. So, okay, I'm looking at buydesk.com here on the HEX BTC pair, and I'm gonna move it out to the, I guess, the 4-hour chart. Nope, that's not what I want. That's the silliest candle I've ever seen. Somebody, oh man. I can't believe people do this. They don't understand how order books work, and then they just press the green button or the red button, and they just empty out like one side of the book and just set some retarded price, either high or low. So right now, like, I guess it was maybe their first 4-hour period that HEX ever traded versus BTC here. It had a high of 15,000 sats and a low of 10 sats. So that's a difference of 1,500x. So if this isn't proof to you that the numbers I'm telling you are accurate, HEX already did a 1,500x in its first day of trading, in its first exchange. It happened. Now, was there volume? Probably not, right? But the numbers are real, right? These are real numbers. If you're just looking at these multiple numbers, HEX on this exchange did a 1,500x in a single 4-hour candle. Like, that's just hilarious. That is hilarious. I don't know that I've ever, like, I don't think I've ever seen a 1,500x in a 4-hour candle before. Man, that's funny. So someone got to sell their HEX at a 1,500. Someone sold their HEX at a 1,500x return, possibly. If they bought the low and sold the high here, right? Like, it's hilarious. So where are we at now? Let's look at these other time frames. Yeah. It's all price discovery, right? I don't even know how much volume's here. I'd have to do the math. Yeah, I don't know how much volume's here. I think someone posted a chart that I tweeted. There's this guy that so we got all these cool guys that volunteer to do stuff, and they just do it. So stakehex.com made the price prediction, kind of like state prediction, how many HEX will you get if other people do this kind of thing. And then this other guy, his name's Junio or something. He's got a picture of him doing jiu-jitsu. And he made a stats package that he just keeps posting in the Telegram of every cool thing. How much ETH came in, how much stakes came in, what percent of the supply is staked, how much more, like, just awesome, like super, super cool data. He just keeps posting it. So he put numbers for like what the daily volume was on different exchanges. I think it was doing like $15,000 a day, I think was the daily volume the last time I looked. I love that guy's stats. I absolutely love him. He says he's putting together a website to show you these things, which I would definitely like to, like, because I care about this stuff, right? This is really, really cool. This is the speculative stickiness that HEX has that other things don't have. Love it, right? So I would be very interested to see which markets are developing and how is like a centralized. I think ByteDesk is a centralized exchange. I don't think it's a decentralized exchange because I think they trade against USD, and I think that is a decentralized exchange. You can't trade against USD because someone has to have a bank account, right? So I think this is a centralized exchange. Now let's look at. We'll see if I can compare them. So I'll go to this 4-hour candle. I'll go to the last 4-hour candle. So this says it did 5 million, no, 20, about 20 million of volume in HEX, I guess. So the last 4-hour candle did 20 million volume in HEX, not in dollars, in HEX, on the HEX BTC pair. Now they've got other pairs here, right? So they've also got a USDT pair. Oh, look, it's up 80%. Cool. At least it says plus 80% right next to it. Am I reading that right? Yeah, it says plus 80% in green next to HEX on the USDT pair. Let's see what kind of crazy stuff is going on here. I wish I could share screen with you guys, but it's too much OPSEC, right? Like I have to make sure that everything in the browser is beautiful and not leaking data to you guys or anything. Even though it's dedicated streaming computer, still got to be careful. So this on the USDT pair in the last 4-hour candle did, how much is this? I guess I'll use the last closed candle. So in the last closed candle, so the 4-hour candle before this one, on the HEX USDT pair on ByteDesk, HEX traded $17,422. I'm assuming that volume's dollars. Pretty sure it is. And then, yeah, surely. It's definitely dollars. Because HEX are so numerous. Like, you're never going to have such a small quantity. Like, each line on the order book is like a lot of HEX. So that's neat, right? I mean, this thing has only existed a day and a half, right? Like, cool. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Like, thank you for building all this cool stuff. And I don't have to do crap. I just sit here and get to learn. All right, what other pair do they have here? ETH. Okay, so we got 17K volume, last 4-hour candle before this current one on the USDT pair. On the USD pair, they had, in the 4-hour candle before this one, 5 million volume. And it was at a close of 12 sats. So we do 12 sats times 5 million, and that gives us equivalent BTC. So 0.12345612 times I moved my calculator. 5.63 million. Oh crap, I can't do that. I can't do it like that. 5, 6, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3. Let's. Yeah, that's half a Bitcoin. So they did in the 4-hour period before this one, they did half a Bitcoin volume on the BTC pair for HEX. But in this candle that we're in now, they did 5 times more than that. So they did like 3 Bitcoin, basically. And then on the USDT pair, they did 2 Bitcoin worth. They did $14,000. So it seems like the USDT pair, at least in the last 4-hour candle, was more popular than the HEX pair. Now let's take a look at the ETH pair. Okay, in the ETH pair, we've got in the 4-hour candle before this one, there was 2 million volume. Huh. Now I think this, it's obviously not ETH, because that's a lot of ETH. So this would be HEX, and it's trading at, this candle closed at 524, and I think they use 8 digits, so that would be like 5 zeros and then a 524. 0.12345 times 2 million, right? 3 million. No, that's this candle. 2 million. All right, times 2 million. 10 ETH. So that's like $1,500. So the HEX ETH pair did $1,500 last 4 candles. The USDT pair did 15,000, I think. And then the BTC pair did like, I mean, these are all pitifully small numbers, right? So like what this means is that anyone with any reasonable wealth whatsoever could just set the price at whatever they wanted to. So if anyone came into this market and just decided to set a price, they could just set it, because it's an illiquid market right now, right? I haven't gone through and like added up the order book depth, because I don't see an easy way to do that in here. Like it's not just declared. So it's kind of like a more advanced feature to know how deep an order book is. And I don't have that tool on the site. So, well, you know what? I do actually. I can do this. So let's talk on the USDT pair, because I think it was the busiest one. And HEX USDT. So there's right now, it's priced in HEX. So I'd rather use one of the other ones that's priced in something else. So let's try the BTC pair. So right now on the BTC side, the order book for HEX has 42 million HEX on the buy side total until it gets down to like 1 sat. And then on the sell side, it's got 30 million. It's pretty balanced. 3. Yeah, so there's 30 million on the sell side and 40 million on the buy side, HEX, which is neat. Now, why do I tell you this, right? Because if you wanted to like move this price to wherever you wanted, you could literally like just empty the order book for very cheap on either side. So you could set this price down to its minimum tradable price at 1 sat by selling 42 million HEX in a single order. And since 42 million HEX is worth, now this is just fun because it's a new market, right? Like you're gonna have the thinnest books possible when the market's brand new. They start off with nothing and then they start to fill up. And I don't even know how many users buy this guys, right? Like I might go to one of the dexes and they might have thicker books than this. So 42 million times, it's closed at, well, I'll just use the current price. Last trade is at 7 sats on the BTC pair. Okay, 42 million times 0.1234567 sats. All right, it's 3 Bitcoin. So you literally could empty this order book in a single candle and drive the price down to 1 sat. And you wouldn't even need to you actually only need about 18 million to drive it down to 1 sat, because you'd empty out the order book at 2 sats, and then you only need to tap the top of the order book at the 1 sat, and you can leave the rest there and it will still show that it traded at 1 sat. So you don't actually have to empty the order book. You only need to empty the order book up to the price level right above the price level you want to hit. So I mean, 3 Bitcoin is like 25 grand, but you don't even have to spend 3. You'll only spend 18, which is like a third of 3. So you could literally spend 1 Bitcoin. You could spend 8 grand and knock this price down to 1 sat like that. which is why talking about new markets is just funny, right? Because basically you could make this thing moon for $8,000 or die for $8,000. And how many people have $8,000? A lot of people, right? So these new markets that are thin and illiquid, they're not really useful for price discovery, I don't think, right? Once there's liquidity, then I think they matter more. Like imagine if it only took, like I bet on some of these other pairs, maybe it would only take like less, right? Like you do it for maybe $4,000, just set the price wherever you want. But also think about it. Somebody made a 1500X. Someone literally made a 1500X already in the first 4-hour candle because they had a very high price at 1500 sats and now it's 7 sats. So like somebody got to sell. And if someone comes along and places, you know, just a couple Bitcoin order and they don't understand how order books work, someone's going to make some large, insane multiple because of the volatility, right? I don't suggest trading, but it's just fun to watch someone make a 1500X in the first, however, right? Like short period. Now this assumes that they could buy lower and then sell that top, but that seems like a reasonable assumption. I could get into a lower time frame and make sure there were candles at lower numbers than that one. I'll try that actually. Let me try that. Let me get on a lower time frame and make sure that this candle had lower candles before it, so that type of thing really could be profited on. Yeah, it did. There was a lot of lower candles before that crazy one. So someone really made a killing. So the candle, I'm on the 15-minute chart now. This 1500 candle existed, and then no, that was the first 15-minute candle. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to the 5-minute. Yeah, there we go. Well, hold on. All that scrolling. Yep, there were candles before that 1500. So I see a candle down at 10 sats low, and then I'm trying to make this big candle up here. Looking for the high. Okay, there's the high. Nah, I guess that was his first trade price, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure there was previous candles before that 1500 one. So I think you may only have been able to like make that 1500X or whatever if you were able to sell that, and you would need margin to do it. I don't know if they do margin here. All right, I'm going to the 1-minute chart. Final resolution on this. Sorry I'm putting so much time into this, guys, but it's not often you get to see a 1500X movement on a candle in a chart, so I'm very curious about it. Scrolling back. My posture is rather the most relaxed it's ever been here. No, really, there were candles. God damn it. I didn't scroll back far enough. Boy, there's a lot of scrolling on this minute chart. If I had the time memorized, I'd just like time warp to it because it's a trading view chart and they have that feature built in. It's just a lot of work. Oh, okay. That it? Okay, that's it. Now that was a first minute candle. That was a first minute candle. So you couldn't have bought on this exchange before that. So the only way that you could have made like some sick mad gain on this is if you're able to sell during that minute at that point. Yeah. All right, whatever. You dig in here. You figure it out. Go into chat. Check it out. Where are you, chat? Where'd you go? Chat close? I'm going to click my own stream. Okay, well, I'm still streaming. I don't know where the window went, but I see myself, so. whatever. You're probably listening to me talk on my own channel. Where's the window? What is going on here? This is so weird. Yeah, the YouTube window closed, but I am still streaming. So I guess I'll go back into the window. Hope this doesn't error and like close the thing. Where's the YouTube window? Sorry guys, this production quality is crap. I should have been able to share screen with you. I didn't know that I'd be looking at charts. So I tried to go to the YouTube window and it like didn't let me go in. There, let's try that. I think I got it. I think. Maybe. Yes, I did get it. I'm a genius. I can see my own stream again. I accidentally closed my own stream window, which I thought would like actually kill the stream, but it didn't, so that's cool. All right, I'm gonna look at your chat, and then I'm probably gonna head off. I wanna look at what's going on. I wanna see how many Bitcoin claimed today, and well, let's do that on the stream, I guess. All right, let's go look at, let's see what the stats are today. I'm gonna go to Telegram. And I'm going to go to t.me/hex crypto. And I'm going to search the word stats. And then I'm going to find this dude, JIU, whatever his name is, for Jiu-Jitsu. Stats. And, all right. So the last stats he posted about an hour ago, hour and 20 minutes ago, were that the Ethereum price was $147.60. Can I paste this in the chat? I'm going to try pasting this in the chat. Let's see if it works. Might be too big. Probably too big. Copy. See what we get here. Okay. Yeah, pasted. But it's way too big. It's 5 times too big. All right, that sucks. Yeah, if you guys want to see this, you need to go to t.me/hex crypto and search the word stats or hex stats. Hex supply, 6 billion. Hex in circulation, 1.56 billion. Hex staked, 4.5 billion, which is 74.4% of the total. Number of addresses claimable, 28 million. Number of address claimed, 18,800. 0.1% of the addresses have claimed. BTC at snapshot, 18 million. BTC claimable, 9.1 million. BTC claimed, 1.4% of the total at 123,876. So when I quoted you earlier today that we had about 116,000 Bitcoin that claimed, an extra 6,000 or 7,000 Bitcoin has claimed since then, and it's in the stats here, right? Now that reduces the amount available to the adoption amplifier by those claims. However, it's spread over the remaining 340 something days. It doesn't have the biggest impact. The adoption amplifier received day 1, 21,015 Ethereum. Day 2, 6,152 Ethereum. Day 3, 2,516 Ethereum. And now in day 4, when he posted it, there was only 58 Ethereum in the new day. And if I look at go.hex.win, which I'm just going to open again to make my life easy. Oh, I found the old window. There's actually 180 ETH in there. So when he posted that, there was 48. Now there's 188 ETH. Now what does that mean? It means that if you join the adoption amplifier, if you go to pumpamentals.com, get your 10% bonus, and then you go to go.hex.win, if you put in 1 Ethereum, you're going to get 2.8 million hex. Unless more people join after you, and then it comes down, right? It's probably unlikely you'll get 2.8 million hex. You know, the number is going to go down over time. That's about it. Any other stats in there? He says, note that because the current AA day is 1.8% complete, this calculation only considers a proportional amount of the current day's hex. Oh, neat. So he's like, he does an implied price as well. Like he says what the Ethereum, what the price is versus Ethereum, and then calculates that in USD. And so like when he did this chart, it was 0.002156 hex per USD, calculating off the ETH pair. It's pretty cool. But the number now would be 3 times higher because there's 3 times more ETH in there than when he did the math. Like when he did this math, there was only 48 ETH. $58. So when he did this math, there was only 58 in ETH in there. Now there's 181, which is about 3 times more, which means the effective price should be about 3 times more, which would be like 0.0645. So much cool stuff in here, right? Now you're learning this stuff with me. Like I'm learning this stuff right here with you guys because this is a brand new system. And it's exciting. Someone made a, I bet I can link to this. I'm going to link to this in chat. So this is what I mean about good memes, right? Here's a meme of me dressed up like the Grim Reaper, just going door to door bodying people, debate style. He needs to put the word, you know, like the label debate on it though. Here's a link. There you go. I love that when we have these chats and these cool things going on, we can actually just link to the chat and then you can see what's in the chat without having to be in it, without downloading the client, right? You can just go to the link and it'll show you by HTTP like a website. Richard, keep doing what you're doing. You got tons of people behind you. Peter was so ridiculous. That was really sad. I don't know why that was so bad. It was the worst interview I've ever had. And that's weird. Yeah. I want to talk to my chat. I want to hang out with my chat. I've done enough with you good YouTube folks. How many hours have I been on? I've been on 2 hours and 46 minutes. That's a good long enough time. If you guys want to chat with me, I'm going to be on t.me/hex crypto for a while. And then yeah, I want to see what the system's doing, you know? I want to click around. I want to look at those other dexes, see if McAfee Dex has any volume, see if that news tags has any volume, TGZ I think it was. I want to look if Ether Delta, Fork Delta have anything going on. Just curious, you know? What else? I want to see if we're still number 2 most popular project on Ethereum. We were before the stream, so I want to see if that's maintaining. There's a lot of really cool stuff going on right now. I linked to earlier a video where I said you might want to sell everything and get HEX. Think about it. Don't FOMO day one, right? Maybe scale in. The thing is, like, I'm not a financial advisor, do your own research. I really like this thing. I'm biased. I don't know what the price will do. I know what it was designed to do. I still think we'll get big oscillations because it's a cryptocurrency and that's what they do, right? I think any cryptocurrency can and will go down 85%, and they usually do, right? Maybe stablecoins are an exception. So the question is, how long is the rise up before you get that is the question, right? Bitcoin, we tend to go up really high and then die, and then go up really higher and then die, and then go up really higher and die. It doesn't have to do that forever, but it seems to kind of be what these things do, at least Bitcoin and good cryptocurrencies, right? Yeah, consider scaling in and seeing how large a piece you can get of this is my feel as to how to play this game the right way. I think market timing price is going to be hard, right? Like right now with no liquidity, you're going to have a lot of volatility, right? Like I said, you could set the price, you could empty the order book in either direction with, $8,000 on that exchange, which means, you could get a good deal or a bad deal. It really it's hard to know, right? If you're dealing with contract directly and minting coins yourself, there's no wicks, there's no, you got the same deal everyone else got that day. So there's no like, order book screwed me or price wicked and screwed me, any kind of stuff like that. Yeah, I'm going to head off. So I'm going to give you the list of everything that you can check out. I wrote some self-help books. They're in outline form. When they're edited, they'll be published, but they need editing. You don't need them edited. You just need the good ideas is what you need. So go to t.me/scivive, like survive through science. We've got free general chat, t.me/strape, charting chat, which you shouldn't need because you couldn't be trading, but if you can't take my good advice, go ahead, Strape charts. Price calls channel where, I tell you what's going on with Bitcoin price. Richard's calls, t.me/Richard's calls. Then we've got a whole lot of HEX chats. So I'm just going to tell you T, like, Tango, t.me/HEX news, HEX crypto, HEX videos, HEX memes, HEX charts, HEX trading, HEX AA, HEX claims. That's support. If you're trying to free claim, you're having trouble, you're trying to use it, you're having trouble, go to HEX claims. What else? Twitter.com/Richard Hart Win, Twitter.com/HEX crypto, YouTube.com/HEX crypto, YouTube.com/Richard Hart. What else? So that's Telegram, that's Twitter. The website, pumpamentals.com, if you want 10% bonus. Any referral link will give that. Or hex.win if you just want to go to the site directly. If you want to see the contract, you want to see the code, go to etherscan.io, and you can see the verified code there. You post the code, and then they compile it, and then they see that what they compiled matches what's on the blockchain, and then you know that what's in that blockchain contract, what's in that address is that text that you're seeing there, because that text, when compiled, equals the hash of that thing, right? So it's a way to know what's really, really, really there. And so if you're a developer and you want to plug in and do really cool stuff with HEX, like all these other guys have been telling you about, have been doing, you want to build something awesome and stick a referral link right next to it, please do. I mean, a lot of people are loving all these referrals they're getting. There's a lot of people getting a lot of HEX from the referral program, and you could be one of them, right? You get to build something awesome, part of something new and unique and special that's never existed before. It's very, very easy to hook into because we chose the right ecosystem. So, we've got a developer chat, which I'm not going to name drop here because I don't want a bunch of people who aren't developers, coming by and looky-looing in. If you're a developer, you can message me, t.me/Richard Hart, and then I'll send you a link to the developer chat. I think we got about 60 guys in there, building cool stuff, having fun. Yeah, that's it. So guys, you got the opportunity of a lifetime here. You've got what feels to me like it felt when I was mining Bitcoin when it was worth less than $1. That's what this feels like to me. It feels better. There's more good stuff going on now. And the potential to make scale is fast. Like, we can scale fast now. There's so many things that are already done for us that we don't have to build for ourselves. Like, look at all these exchanges. Do you know how long it would take to get listed 9 or 8 years ago? Impossible. Just couldn't do it. They didn't exist, right? There's so many cool new things that we have now. A wallet that you don't even have to install an exe. It's just a browser extension. So good. It's so good. There's so many good things in here. All right, guys. I hope to see you in chat, and I hope to see you on the Twitter. And I wish you mad gains. I don't care if you're a Bitcoin guy, a Monero guy, Ethereum guy, HEX guy. I hope we all go up together. I think all of those projects are very good, and I think that they all do, useful and important things. So, none of them are bad. They're all good. They're just good at different stuff. This one is designed to appreciate the fastest. That's what its design intention was. The other ones weren't actually designed with that in mind. And so, we don't have anonymity. Not easily. You have it. You can use tornado.cash and some other things where you could route through Monero and, hit Binance under their limit. Like, there's other things you can do, right? As long as it's legal, just do legal things. So Monero is more anonymous than Hex is, but it wasn't designed for insane price appreciation and onboarding and referral program and all that stuff. None of those other top cryptocurrencies were. This one is the only one that is. And so far so good, is my opinion. All right, guys. If you want to see the way it's really working, install MetaMask.io and go to go.hex.win and actually see what's really going on. See how many people are joining. See the referral link. Spread it. You don't have to have anything to spread a referral link and get 20%. Just spread your links, man. Go to go.hex.win, install MetaMask, get your referral link, and go have fun. Goodbye, guys. Have a great night.